is one date that sticks in the mind of every junior doctor, and that's the first Wednesday in August.
Are you here for induction?
Yes. That date is when they begin to work in hospital for the very first time. You can ask any doctor in the NHS and they will tell you that that is the most important day in their professional lives.
Give a cheesy grin.
In August 2016, around 6,000 medical graduates are beginning their careers across the country.
I just have butterflies in my stomach because it's just the unknown, isn't it?
Obviously, it goes without saying that I'm petrified of letting my patients down.
30 are registered to Northampton General. Their induction is led by Dr. Philip Pearson.
It's my job to welcome them, but also to warn them what's ahead. The NHS at the moment is running very, very close to the edge, and the junior doctors are the ones very much in the front line. My fear is it will be harder for them than any other generation previously. Welcome to Northampton, and for that matter, welcome to medicine doctors. It will be hard work, it will be stressful, you will be taxed physically, emotionally, mentally in the next 12 months, more than you ever thought possible. You will have patients dying in front of you. There will be times when all you want to do is just burst into tears. There will be times when you go home dancing, punching the air because of things that have happened. There are plenty of good times, and there are always people to help you. Thank you for your time. It's been a long day, but welcome to medicine.
There are hundreds of general hospitals like Northampton across the UK. They're the backbone of the NHS, providing care to millions every day.
This is Northampton's hospital. Most people who work here live here. Most of the people we treat are our neighbours. There's a lot of pride in the place. It does a fabulous job with limited resource. But we're not much different from anywhere else. We've got ever-increasing number of patients coming through the front door, but we haven't got an increase in the number of staff to provide that care. We haven't got an increase in the number of beds to provide that care. And we haven't got any more money.
Each new doctor has been assigned to a hospital ward, working in a full medical team for the first time.
Okay, sharp scratch. Oh, sorry. Ow! Take that out. I'm really sorry. I'll ask one of the other doctors to help me. Are you all right?
You're shitting it. Like, it's terrifying.
You don't want to come across as the nervous doctor who doesn't know what they're doing and who makes loads of mistakes and nobody trusts them.
Did you say it was yesterday?
They look like they're the, what's that saying? Rabbits caught in headlights, is it? That's exactly what it is, I think.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't know what to do then.
Yeah, no problem.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it.
OK.
For 28-year-old Holly, it's been a long journey to get to this day.
And I'm worried about forgetting everything. And when I found out that I'd qualified, I was just shocked. I was just shocked because when I was 15, one of my teachers told me that I'd never be a doctor because I wasn't clever enough and I had no drive. It left me with no confidence.
Can I feel your pulse?
I've had quite a lot of jobs to get here. I've been a healthcare assistant, been a pub manager for a while, did a bit of security work. It hasn't been straightforward. It hasn't been easy.
Can I put your mouth for me a minute, Robert? Sorry, darling.
On Holly's first day, she's working with a consultant and nurses on the emergency assessment unit, where acutely ill patients are sent from A&E.
All right, don't worry.
At midday, the consultant is briefly called away, and Holly is left as the only doctor covering the ward.
I think everybody's biggest fear on their first day is causing serious harm or killing a patient, which is very difficult to do, apparently. Hopefully.
But within minutes, One patient has started to deteriorate.
What paracetamol has he had?
He's had 1 gram IV, but he won't be due any more now until 4.
There is a gentleman with pneumonia, and despite being given treatment and antibiotics, they haven't been successful. So at the moment, we're trying to explore different treatment programmes for him, but he is acutely unwell. I'm quite worried about him at the moment.
3 hours into her career, Holly has a patient's life hanging in the balance.
My name's Holly. I'm one of the doctors on the ward at the moment. And the consultant that came to see you earlier this morning would like you to have a tube put down. It's one that we pop through your nose, down into your stomach, so that we can help with things like your pain. You squeeze my hand if you understand what I've said.
When you first see somebody very sick, all of a sudden you realise the pressure of the position that you're in. You know, it sounds rather dramatic, but you hold their life in your hands, and all of a sudden that hits you. And you realise that all that training, all that you were taught, this is what, it's for this moment.
Holly needs to insert a nasal tube that can supply life-saving antibiotics.
I just wanted to double-check. When you measure an NG, it's just down to the zip.
An on-call team is there to provide support.
Are you going to put the NG yourself?
Yeah. Would that be okay? I've had training and everything.
Well, if you've had the training, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. When it's your first few days as a doctor and the unexpected happens, that's when the self-doubt creeps in. Someone once said I couldn't do this. Am I about to prove them right?
If at all this is uncomfortable, just squeeze my hand and Holly will stop, okay? Is it him?
Yeah.
Holly inserts the tube perfectly, but won't know until tomorrow if the antibiotics have worked.
You do feel like you're on edge. Either this patient will pick up and improve and then go home, or they'll take a turn for the worse. And it is a waiting game.
There are 210 junior doctors in Northampton.
You're right to tell me what's brought you into hospital today?
To sort out this head of mine.
Alongside caring for patients, there's a continuous program of training.
When you're the person that makes that diagnosis and starts the treatment, when you've saved someone's life, it stays with you forever.
And as their careers progress, they take on ever more responsibility.
Hello, my name's Emily. I'm one of the oncology doctors. I understand that you've been diagnosed with breast cancer. Yeah. So do you want to tell me what's brought you into hospital at the moment?
26-year-old Emily has just started on the cancer ward. As a third year, this is her first chance to specialise her training.
Gonna have a little look at you if that's all right. I really don't know why I wanted to be a doctor. I just know that I always wanted to be one, and I think it was because my mum was one and she was such an amazing role model. And I think I just saw the difference that she made. A couple of years ago, she went for a normal mammogram and she was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 days before my medical finals. White cell count is up. She did have to have a big operation. She did retire early from work. But it really made me realise that being a doctor, as much as it's about the medicine and the medical decisions, actually in situations like that, it's about the person as a whole, but also about their family as well.
Emily's mum made a full recovery, but the experience has led her to choose end-of-life care as a speciality.
People just seem to wonder why I want to work in palliative care. I think a lot of people just don't see the benefit in it, and maybe those people haven't had family members die or had bad experiences, and maybe they think that every death is the same. But I would argue that it's definitely not, and there is a huge amount that you can do.
Emily's ward treats people with complicated or terminal cancers. One patient, Tracy, used to work in the hospital.
I still think we're not out of the woods just yet. Chest X-ray is a little bit worse. So it's a little bit of a knife edge that you're balancing on at the moment.
Tracy's got lung cancer. But unfortunately now it's spread to other parts of her body.
I am very slightly aware as well that the liver lesions will probably be getting bigger whilst you're off your chemotherapy. Yeah.
She has got a lovely family who are really involved. The kids have been telling Wayne, her husband, that he needs to go home and have some rest as well. But yeah, the next few days are quite important.
God bless. Guys. See you later on. Is that right? I'll catch you.
Like Emily's mum, Tracy's cancer came completely out of the blue.
Do you remember when he told us? We kind of started laughing because it was a bit of disbelief, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really, because I've never smoked, so I didn't really believe it at the time. But I'm going into my 3rd year, and I'm happy. And I've had a fantastic 2.5 years doing stuff I wouldn't have done if this didn't happen. So I've been lucky.
Yeah, but I'd still give that all up.
I know. I know.
For you not to be going through all of this.
I know.
To be a good doctor, you have to care, because I think when you stop caring, then that's when you become a bad doctor. But I think the worries for me are just that it's quite emotionally demanding and emotionally draining, and it is well recognised that people do burn out. I think working in oncology will definitely help me see whether it is something that I can do every day, or whether I think it would be too much for me.
Back on the assessment unit, Holly's patient has continued to deteriorate.
I think the most difficult thing when you start as a new doctor is understanding or realising that you're not going to be able to help everybody. There are some patients that whatever you do, they're not going to improve. And as a junior, that's very difficult to get your head around.
We've been giving him a lot of antibiotics and we're still struggling to keep him comfortable. This is my 2nd day and I already feel like I know him so well.
Later that week, the man dies from his infection. He's Holly's first ever patient.
You just for that moment think, was there anything I could have done? You're there to relieve pain, relieve suffering, make patients better. But death is a consequence of life. It is a privilege to be a doctor, it really is. You get invited into these patients' lives and you see them at their absolute worst. I just hope for that patient that he was as comfortable as possible.
Northampton General is serving a growing population. But they've had no increase in doctors in training for the last 15 years.
I just want to take one more blood test, I'm afraid.
Like many NHS hospitals, it operates at near full capacity most of the time.
At the moment, we are dealing with the problems of increasing patients coming into hospital who are generally sicker, they're often older, they have more complex problems, and therefore they're going to stay in hospital longer.
Can you take some deep breaths in and out for me?
So all staff, whether they're junior or senior, are under significant pressure to see 20–25% more patients than they would a couple of years ago.
OK, thank you so much, thank you. Right.
Everything is stretched. This is the worst I've ever seen it in 36 years. Morale is not great because it's so difficult to deliver the standard of care they're capable of.
Hi, my name's Sam Pollen. I'm a 2nd-year doctor, and at the moment I'm thinking about leaving the NHS for good.
Sam is 24 and working on the gastro ward, dealing with bowel and stomach problems, and a lot of elderly patients.
We're over halfway.
Do you know which hospital we're in at the moment?
Bedford. Northampton General Hospital.
Yes, there you go. You know where you are. Hello. It's Sam, one of the doctors. How are you getting on today, Joyce?
Yes, I'm all right.
You feel OK?
Yes.
OK. And how are your bowels and waterworks? Yeah, it is not glamorous. It's not glamorous. I leave work most days covered in either poo, blood, vomit, or a combination of the three. Hello, Mr. Harrison. All right, now this is just a little bit of local anaesthetic. I worked my arse off in school to get into med school. I worked my arse off in med school to get where I am now. Sorry, it's quite uncomfortable, I know. And then you come out into the real world and you're trying to put all of that knowledge and idealism to use in a system that is slowly breaking down, in a system that's overstretched and underfunded, and it is kind of demoralising. It kind of sours a lot of what you've worked so hard for all these years.
Sam's ward has a staff shortage, and today he's looking after double the number of beds he should be. 20-year-old Ryan has had numerous hospital visits and lost half his body weight, but no doctor has been able to diagnose his condition.
I may have been in and out of here 17 times this year. I was originally 8 stone, and now I'm down to 4 stone 2. And I just look like a malnourished 13-year-old, and it's horrible.
Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Ray. Can I examine you? Is that okay? You just relax while you put your hands. So we see patients like Ryan a lot who come into hospital very frequently. What they need from us as doctors is our time. It's a bit of a mystery at the moment, but bear with us and we'll figure out what's wrong, okay?
Cheers, Sam.
All right, I'll see you shortly. But you physically don't have the time to sit with a patient for 20 minutes and listen to them because I've got 50 other patients I have to see by lunchtime. And that's what frustrates me about medicine today, is that we physically don't have the opportunity to give the level of care that I have been trained to offer and that I want to offer and that I should be giving to my patients. And you feel guilty about it. You feel guilty a lot of the time,
The number of junior doctors leaving the NHS is rising. In some hospitals, it's now a daily challenge to have enough juniors on the wards.
Hello, how's it going? I hear you're plugging a gap a bit, really, here at the moment, because Hannah's off.
Lindsay Braun is responsible for Northampton's medical rota.
At the moment, out of 65 junior doctors, we have 10 gaps as of today. Next week, that's going to be more, because 2 people are leaving, so it'll be 12. Hi, I'm just going around wards where I know you're one down to see how it's going on. There are days where you don't know how you're going to ensure that each ward has sufficient doctors providing safe enough care. And that is a very knife-edge situation.
Last year, almost a third of junior doctors left the NHS after only 2 years.
Is this your first day on this ward?
Not before.
The gap was largely filled by foreign doctors.
Good.
Yeah, everyone is quite helpful in pointing me where to go, so yeah, it's quite good.
There's no way the NHS would survive without overseas doctors. There's no way. Good. And how are you getting on?
Okay.
Most of the adverts that we put out for doctors that we need will be overseas, and hence a lot of the interviews will be Skype interviews. Sometimes we have people that have not done very much, and it's a bit of a gamble, but you have to assess that at interview as to whether you feel they are experienced enough for you to supervise here. Each year gets more and more difficult, and it feels as though we are on the edge of things cracking up. No doubt about that.
It's Holly's 3rd week at the hospital. One morning with A&E already busy, 2 of her team failed to turn up.
We should have started ward round by now, but I've just been told that there's been a bit of confusion with the consultant's rota. So there's actually no consultant around at the moment, and it just means that we can't really get the ball rolling with our day until we get a consultant to come in and review people.
Without a consultant review, nobody can be admitted or discharged from Holly's ward. The department grinds to a halt as people continue to arrive into A&E.
A&E currently has approximately 70 patients in it.
The problem is there's quite a few in A&E at the moment, but I don't know what else I can do because, as I say, they've got nobody imminent going home.
This ward is full and we've been told that the hospital is full to capacity now. So there's no beds on any wards.
At the moment, the emergency admission system is running at its absolute limit. It's stretched to the point where if one key person doesn't turn up for whatever reason, then the whole thing can just fall apart. It's like a row of dominoes. One person comes out, the whole thing just collapses because the flow stops. You get a blockage and it backs right the way up to the front door. It just becomes impossible.
Within 2 hours, the hospital's on red alert as numbers in A&E have doubled.
So, Dr. Milanovic, can I just check you're happy with the plan? So we need to chase the CT heads.
Whenever a hospital is on alert, all wards are under pressure to discharge patients.
Okay, can we go?
For Emily, this happens on a day her team is down 3 nurses.
Hello. Do you have any problem now at this moment?
It's pain.
Okay, we will check for your painkiller. Do you have any other question for us?
It's just a little bit stressful because the consultant wants the ward round to speed up.
See you. Bye.
However, the problem is when you try to see them quickly, it means that the patients become dissatisfied, which is understandable, and you can miss things that you would have picked up if you'd have spent that time. All right.
Okay,
we'll see you tomorrow morning, okay?
Cheers.
He is the sort of patient, if we just walk in and walk out, he will kick off for the rest of the day. If we don't explain that to him, his anxiety, his depression, and he'll be suicidal again, and I'll have to phone the acute. I don't normally have long conversations unless I need to have them.
What is the next patient?
Tracy Simpson, room 6. I've not checked her bloods yet because I haven't had a chance. It's room... Do you mind helping me, Saeed, grabbing the notes and things? Because Dr. Milanovic wants to speed up, but I can't do it all by myself. Hello. I feel a little bit dizzy.
I think she's struggling to breathe.
Yeah. OK. And you're feeling short of breath sat there now? So we'll carry on with the nebulizers. I'm going to ask for a chest X-ray just to make sure there's nothing new going on. Is that all right? OK, we'll see you later. It sounds like she's not so good today. And I want to look into that a little bit more. But no, it is difficult to feel like you're doing your best when you're so busy. Hello, can I help?
By the afternoon, the staff shortage catches up with the ward.
It's not that she's ignoring it, she's trying to sort it out.
25-year-old Rachel has been waiting 4 hours to see a specialist nurse.
I have a patient sitting here for a pump change, and I can't do everything. It's too much.
I mean, we were supposed to be here for half an hour today. Rachel has stage 4 throat cancer. They've told her that she has a 30 to 40% chance of survival. And how can this happen? How can this be?
It's just really stressful because we've just not had enough doctors or nurses. You can put up with anything when it's a few hours or a few days, but when it's a permanent thing that there's never enough staff and you're always running at 110%, you can't keep it up. This ward has broken me. It has broken me. This job's broken me.
On the assessment unit, Lindsay Braun has stepped in to do the consultant ward round.
See if we can get you home as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's fine.
But Holly's day is about to get even busier.
Cardiac arrest on Findon ward. Cardiac arrest on Findon ward.
Findon? No, not really. So I've had a cardiac arrest on one of the wards, and I'm part of the arrest team today. So we just need to get there and find out what's happened.
Do we have a pulse? No, we lost the pulse.
In the next door ward, an elderly patient's heart has stopped. Holly and her team have only minutes to save a life.
Yeah, starting. Just up. Went into cardiac arrest. We started treatment, and then it got to the point where we'd dealt with everything and she was still developing rhythms that are untreatable, really. So the med reg made the decision and then checked with the team that we were happy to stop. So that was the decision that was made.
But in the brief time she's off her ward, another patient has died.
The lady in 1-4 has just passed away.
Okay.
When things get really hectic and the wards are very busy, you have to become almost like a machine. Emotion just doesn't come into it. If you've got time to sit and worry about how you feel, you've got more time on your hands than you thought.
Thank you. Thank you.
By the end of her shift, Holly is just beginning the discharge paperwork.
It's 4:25 and I've not had lunch. I'm meant to finish in 35 minutes. That's not going to happen. I actually feel at the moment like I look really incompetent. So like this discharge has probably taken me about an hour, when actually if I just sat down with no distractions, it would have been less than 10 minutes. It's just that fear of I don't want to let anyone down. I don't want people to think I am incompetent, because I'm not. At times, the NHS is on its knees. And it is becoming more and more evident to me exactly how stretched all of our services are. One of the big things for me was that I didn't want to get to the point where I forgot the patient. And today I couldn't tell you a single thing about any of my patients. If you line them all up in front of me now, I couldn't tell you any of their names because I've been too rushed today. I was expecting it, just not on the level of today. Today's been hectic.
At the beginning of September, the hospital is quiet.
Today we've got a full complement of doctors on the ward, which means we're each looking after one bay, which means I have actual time to spend with my patients. So yeah, today should be a good day.
Sam's team have spent the last week trying to solve the problem of Ryan's weight loss, but with little success.
The Ryan conundrum continues. It's quite a complex case, and all of the things I would have tested for, we've tested for, and they've come back normal. So I'm at a loss at the moment. He's a young guy, he's got a life to live. It must be difficult for him.
Hi Ryan, are you okay? We've got an office for you down there if you want to come with me, we can sit and have a chat for a bit. I've got a bit of time now, so we can...
Yeah, I know, you struck for time yesterday.
So, go ahead, you wanted to have a chat?
Yeah, well, how can I say, being on that ward is making me really upset. Like, I'm young, I shouldn't be here. But I don't want to leave here until I hit my proper weight, because I know I'm going to go back downhill.
Okay. I don't think we're planning on kicking you out rapidly anytime soon.
Yeah, not only that, I think it's just because the withdrawal from the cannabis, that's the main thing I was going to speak to you about today. I won't lie to you, I am a high cannabis user, which I'm trying to cut out. And I know for a fact, if I go back next week, I'll end up smoking the cannabis again. I can already see.
How often would you say you smoke cannabis?
Every day.
Okay. It's good that you've brought that up, because that means I can speak to the team and we can make sure everybody's in the loop, and that can be sorted from our side.
I just really needed to have a word.
All right.
Cheers,
Wonderful,
son.
thanks.
Cheers, son.
Cheers. So I've got Ryan's old notes here. Lifestyle factors are often important in what causes people's symptoms, and illicit drug use is one that is often very important, but doctors are very shy to ask about. And cannabis, which a lot of people consider an appetite stimulant, in long-term use is actually an appetite suppressant. So if all this coincides with his use of cannabis, then we may be onto something.
On ward round the next day, Sam can test his theory with Ryan's consultant.
So I had a chat with Ryan yesterday, just trying to figure out a bit more about him and his lifestyle. And he said that he does smoke quite a large amount of cannabis and has been for a while.
I'm really surprised. I didn't get that from him before.
No?
That's really good. Well done. That's quite important.
Okay.
Hello, Ryan. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Great. So why do you think you've got better here when you weren't getting better at home? Any idea? Because cannabis suppresses appetite. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Are you going to carry on with the cannabis?
No.
So are you worried that when you go home you'll start using cannabis again?
It's the only thing that gets me through the day.
Really? And have you been very depressed at home?
Well, I was before I come in. All I'd do is wake up, go get a smoke, have some probably packet of crisps that'll last me for about 2-3 days, and then I'll just sleep all day.
That's not much of a life.
No.
It's a vicious circle, isn't it? You take the cannabis, you don't eat, you get more tired, you end up skin and bones.
Sometimes it's not the advice that you give someone that solves the problem, it's the opportunity to be listened to that solves the problem. And I think nobody's really had the time to have these discussions with him.
I'm sorry that it took us a while to get to this.
Well, I should have said about this sooner, I know.
That day, Ryan's medication is changed, and the drugs counsellor called in.
I'm calling as I have a patient I'd like to refer to yourselves for review as an inpatient, if possible. You go through so much of the job feeling like you haven't lived up to what's expected of you, that when you actually do something that's spot on, it's just really satisfying.
Cheers, Dr. Judy.
It reminds you of why you're here and why you put all the work in and why you sacrifice so much to carry on being a doctor because of those moments.
On the cancer ward, Emily's team has just received Tracy's latest test results.
It's not a good sign.
Tracy is really poorly at the moment, so seeing that the x-ray's worse, I suppose, isn't surprising, but it just confirms that perhaps things aren't going in the right direction.
After years of treatment, Tracy's body has finally given up the fight.
So for me, this is one of the things that it's all about, because the way that this whole situation is handled now will massively, massively affect that family for the rest of their lives. I mean, if Tracy's in pain or distressed and there's more trauma heaped on top, then that will stay with the family forever, as well as the grief, and I think it makes the grief much more difficult to process. It really shows whether you're a good doctor or not as to how you handle those situations. How are you feeling, Tracy? I just wanted to catch up with you and see how you're doing. You're shattered. How does your breathing feel? Do you think the oromorphs helped a bit? You think it's just knocked you out a bit? Okay. I've had a look at some of the bloods that have come back. So unfortunately, despite the antibiotics, some of the bloods are looking a little bit worse. Okay. We are possibly entering that zone if the platelets drop any lower tomorrow, that we might not be able to carry on with the blood thinner. But I think it is just a little bit concerning that things don't seem to be going quite in the direction we wanted to.
Not anymore, anyway.
Did you have any questions for me? No? Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'll leave you in peace, Tracy, okay?
Thanks so much, cheers. Thanks.
All right. It's very difficult to get the balance right when you're having that sort of conversation, to give people the information you need to give. But I think I managed to broach the subject and plant the seed, but it's just a very sad situation. You can really clearly see the love between them, and so I think it's obviously going to be incredibly difficult for them.
For all juniors, life as a doctor is 24/7.
Okay, baby, you want to open your eyes for me?
Hospitals never close, and day shifts are mixed with nights.
I'm convinced I did the wrong thing, so to hear...
You didn't, because she was expecting us to check.
Consultants are there for juniors when things get too much.
And you did it in a balanced way, which I think was very good.
But in the emergency department, Holly's team is still battling staff shortages.
So I'm currently on day 9 of a 10-day straight. At the moment, I know that there's a lot of gaps on the rota, and I don't mind helping out where I can and filling in those gaps, but there's only so much that we can work. And the tireder you get, the more challenging it becomes.
In her first month, Holly has treated over 300 patients, certified almost a dozen deaths, and like many NHS staff, hasn't once left work on time.
My partner makes a big joke because Jeremy Hunt said there's no reason why doctors shouldn't be leaving at 5 o'clock. And so when I rock in at 8:30, my partner wants to know what my excuse is, because my boss, Jeremy Hunt, says I should leave at 5 o'clock. If we worked a rule and we started at the time we're supposed to start and finished when we're supposed to finish, the NHS just would be non-existent. I would say a large proportion of it runs on goodwill, the goodwill of the staff. So sharp scratch coming up. The reason that we don't stop is because we care about patients and we put them first. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine.
Why would you be a doctor or a nurse or work anywhere in the NHS if you didn't care about people? Oh, I don't know about that, I'll probably get sacked. For all of the stress and pressure that I have felt under, I am still enjoying being a doctor. But there have been days where I have thought twice.
Being a physician is the best and most brilliant job in the world. There's just far too much of it. You know, we can't just keep expanding the number of hours we work and keep a smile on our face and keep doing it perfectly. You can't do that. We are reaching our capacity. We haven't got a lot more to give, and something needs to change.
By the end of September, junior doctors have been in post for 2 months. Every day has seen new patients arrive and depart from their care.
So unfortunately, Tracy passed away on Friday. I last saw her on Thursday night or the early hours of Friday morning as I was doing a night shift. And it was becoming more obvious that she was becoming much more unwell and that she was dying. And Tracy said that her last wish really was that she wanted to pass away at home. And I'm just so glad that she managed to get there, even if it was just for a few hours.
On the 23rd of September, Emily's colleagues were able to fast-track Tracy home, where she passed away, surrounded by her family.
Patients like Tracy, it completely reinforces why I want to do palliative care. She died where she wanted to die. Her pain was under control. I think she died with dignity. So as far as I know, I would say that she had a good death. Of course it affects me, and I've cried at work, I've cried a few times, but you do just have to learn to be able to deal with that and pick yourself up and go back out there, because as sad as it is, there's always another patient that you need to go and see, and so we just have to carry on.
My name is Milanovic, I'm a consultant here. And I came here to see you and to ask you how are you.
Could be better, but could be worse.
Okay.
I couldn't do this job for the rest of my life. It's too much. But I do want to stay in the NHS and hopefully climb the ladder and become a consultant.
There's no other job that I can see myself doing, because for me it's about making a difference and caring for patients, and there's no other job where I think I could use the skills that I've got and make that difference in patients' lives. I'll see you later on, okay?
Across on the gastro ward, Sam's success with Ryan has made him reflect on his own career.
I feel like this is what I came here to do, and I am doing it well. It's a confidence that, oh, actually, I am a good doctor.
Since coming under Sam's care, Ryan's gained 6 kilos and is now ready to go home.
Hi, Ryan. So you're off today, aren't you?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, how are you feeling about that?
Happy.
It's been really nice meeting you, but I hope we never see you again.
Well, I'd like to see you again, but not here.
Not in a professional capacity. All right. Nice to meet you, Ryan. Good luck, OK?
Cheers.
See you later.
Go on, then. Try and behave yourself.
I want to stay as a doctor in the NHS. This is my whole life. This is everything I have trained for since I did my GCSEs. This is, I pour all of my effort and all of my time and all of my energy into caring for the people that are in this hospital. If you keep your head still for me, look forward, there you go. But I have no idea what my future holds because I have no idea what's happening with the NHS. No degree of efficiency savings or strategic cuts is going to solve the problem that there are too many patients and not enough people treating them.
4 weeks after discharging Ryan, Sam chooses not to apply for further NHS training.
I want what anybody wants. I want to be able to do the job that I'm trained to do. I want to be respected.
Hi, Anne.
And I want to be happy. So I've decided to take a year out to decide whether I want to stay in the UK and pursue my training here, or do I want to go to Australia, New Zealand, somewhere abroad to pursue my training out there.
Sam is one of 6,000 junior doctors who applied to work overseas in 2016.
We have a whole generation of the most dedicated and compassionate people I've met, doctors, nurses, everyone who works in the NHS, who are completely disillusioned by a career that they've worked so hard for. I think we're seeing a slow, painful collapse of an institution that we should all be grateful for. And it's a shame. That's the most accurate word for it, is that it is a crying shame.
On the emergency assessment unit, Holly's now been a doctor for 2 months.
Just lift this up for you, sweetheart. That's it. From day one till now, I think my confidence has increased and continues to increase exponentially. On the acute wards, there's no time to stop and look things up, check a textbook, wait for a consultant to arrive. The patients are so sick that you need to make the decisions quickly and in a confident way. All right, Rob, let's pop it back on.
13 years after her teacher said it would never happen, Holly's firmly established as a hospital doctor.
If you want something badly enough, it doesn't matter what background you've got, what money you've got, it is your drive and ambition and determination that will get you there. And I still have as much passion now as I did when I was 15.
Just take some deep breaths for me.
But there are times when we feel that we can't do any more than we already are, and there's still patients waiting. I'm right at the start of my career, and I'm worried about what the future holds. I think if nothing changes, there just won't be an NHS. I can't see at its current functioning level that it can continue. But I still love my job. I love everything that I do, and I couldn't imagine being anything else. It's for you. You're going home.
Next time, the onset of winter creates a surge of patients in A&E.
Check me the oxygen.
We're in a very difficult position here.
It's mental.
And new recruits must adjust to life
You're panicking.
in the hospital's busiest department.
I'm beginning to question why the hell I'm doing this and if I'm even good enough.
all done. Gonna get my scrubs out there ready.
24-year-old Morgan is a second-year doctor.
You can attract quite a lot of attention in this beautiful green.
She's a few weeks into a 4-month rotation in Northampton General's A&E.
I just kind of look how many ambulances are outside. So at the moment, I'm not going to curse anything, but not too bad.
Morgan's the youngest doctor in the department.
Hello. How's it looking? Or do I not dare ask? Oh dear. If you told my mum when I was 15 that I was going to be an A&E doctor, she would have just laughed. Have a sit down, we'll just wait for the other doctor to come in. I'm probably one of the most emotional people that anyone knows. I'm also extremely squeamish and terrified of hospitals myself. I hate needles. Deep breaths in. So why the hell would I go and do a career where I'm dealing with them every day? I think it's mad. I even question it myself.
Northampton A&E emergency phone, can I help?
Morgan's working in a department that's seeing more patients than ever before.
The current waiting time to be seen by an emergency doctor is approximately 4 hours.
And like many NHS hospitals, they have a shortage of emergency doctors.
You okay? Do you want some more pain relief?
No one goes into emergency medicine because it's the easy option.
I can't find the notes.
I think if you're not good under pressure, they're going to struggle working in the environment that we work in.
They've next to them in a number, that means they're in a majors cubicle.
I don't think there's any other bit of medicine which is as fast-paced, as demanding, as chaotic, and really as challenging as working in A&E.
There we go.
Please can I have Dr. to recess, please? Dr. to recess, thank you.
Oh, give me strength.
Halfway through her shift, Morgan is called to resus, the area for patients in a life-threatening condition.
I'm terrified of resus. It's probably the only place in the hospital where you get people coming in so acutely unwell. I think I'm going to find it difficult to see those emotional things and just leave them at the door. I'm quite worried that I'm going to keep a lot of things with me because I know that's me and I know that's what I've done in the past. We have a gentleman, I think, from the brain injury unit who's known to have pulmonary edema and is coming in with query pulmonary edema. So that means lots of fluid on their lungs, usually due to heart failure problems.
Morgan's patient is a 61-year-old man called Lenny.
Hello.
A previous brain injury has left him unable to communicate.
I'm just going to have a little listen to your chest now, OK? I'm going to go get a chest X-ray booked.
Morgan urgently needs a blood sample. But the nurses are struggling to take one.
Morgan, femoral stab, I'm not getting any blood from it.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I've not done one before.
Gonna need a femoral stab,
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
She must take the blood herself from the femoral vein in Lenny's groin.
Femoral stab is really difficult to do. And you're really aware that it's going to cause that person some pain and distress. I know we've had a bit of a difficult time getting some blood from you, so we're going to have to take it from the groin area, if that's OK. I put myself in Lenny's situation. I can only dare to imagine what he must be feeling. If that was me, I would be absolutely terrified. It keeps disappearing on them. You feel a bit of a sting, Lenny? Pulse is a bit steady.
If you aren't able to separate yourself from your patient and create that professional distance, then it can be very difficult to perform procedures.
I can't get anything from there. I'm struggling to feel a good pulse down here.
You do have to be able to switch off the compassion a little, just so you can pull yourself together and get on with the job at hand.
I'm really struggling. Couldn't get anything in. It was all over the place.
After 3 failed attempts, Morgan has to call in her registrar for help.
You really do feel a bit useless sometimes. And I don't want to feel that way. I want to feel like I can look after people and I can do it.
We all need to show empathy and understanding, but I think if you leave yourself wide open to the emotional distress of every case you see, coming to work the next day will be impossible.
He pulls on my heartstrings. I just want to make him feel better.
Please go to Dr. Teresa's, please, Dr. Teresa's, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to put the local anaesthetic in. It's going to sting, okay? Sharp scratch.
26-year-old Dan is a third-year doctor. He's signed up for a career in emergency medicine.
Okay. I love resus. Feeling all right? Good. It's what you imagine when you think of being a doctor. It's the cool stuff. Let's put tubes in, let's stab things, let's put lines in. Let's get excited and let's stay calm while we're excited, and let's not enjoy this, but let's also enjoy it. Is that okay? No. Doesn't feel sharp? Oh, it does a little bit.
One of the A&E consultants, I've come to admire all the handiwork that's going on here.
Cool. Yeah, so it's gone in absolutely fine. Guide wire's out, it's in, it's bubbling.
Yeah,
it's pretty quick, weren't you?
Is he conscious?
But not every patient requires Dan to take a purely clinical approach.
He's quietened down a lot. He was quite combative when I first got to him.
Anthony is a 70-year-old with advanced dementia who's come in from a care home. He's in respiratory failure. His wife, Gillian, is waiting to hear the prognosis.
I've never thrown myself too much into the human side of things. Keep your arm still for me. I tend to focus on the medical complaint. This is an unwell person. It doesn't matter about the rest of it. I don't want to be the person who is holding the hand of the relative and kind of having a little cry with them, because that's not what I'm about. I want to be the person who's, you know, doing the bits. Which sounds awfully cold, doesn't it?
His quality of life
It's
is
very
quite poor.
Anthony is so frail that the doctors decide to limit his treatment.
I think this is a very reasonable and merciful thing which we're doing.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
No.
Dan is given the responsibility of informing Gillian.
With breaking bad news, I think you have to approach the situation with real compassion. I think it's really important that you can hold on to your own humanity and have the ability to connect with people.
Sorry, making a racket. I'm Dan, I'm one of the A&E doctors. Hello. So how much have they told you about what's going on and things?
I went to see him this afternoon. We thought he got a cold and a bad throat.
At the moment, his oxygen levels are very low.
Okay.
And he had some bits in his throat, like tablets and things, that were in his airway.
Right.
So we think they've gone down the wrong way, essentially, and they've gone onto his chest rather than going down into his stomach, which might be causing him to have an infection in his chest and making his breathing quite difficult.
Okay.
With him being in the home and things, he's got a note to say that he didn't want to be resuscitated. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So there are more treatments that we could give, but at the moment, with him being in the state he's in, I'm not sure that they'd be appropriate.
No, okay.
But I just wanted to make sure you understood where we were.
Yeah.
Do you want a cup of tea or anything?
I wouldn't mind a cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee, yeah. Oh, that was awful. Daniel, you idiot. Dear me. Basically, I did it all wrong. I should have... I'm not sure the bedside was the most appropriate place when we've got a very good relatives room. I don't know, it didn't feel fluid and fluent, and I didn't feel happy that I'd got across what I was trying to get across in a sensitive and compassionate way. It felt a bit like I was kind of panicking. And I think there was an element of that, because as I was getting through it and I was thinking, I'm just talking now, I need to stop talking, and yeah.
Not only do your patients need you to have a cool head in a crisis, they also need you to have a heart as well. I think that makes a very good doctor if you're able to do both of those.
If all else fails, offer them a hot drink. At least enough for tea. I'm awful at making tea.
I was told to come in because I accidentally sprayed deodorant in my eye.
You sprayed the deodorant in his eye.
Like most NHS hospitals, A&E is the main entry point for Northampton General's patients.
Healthcare through an acute hospital is actually fairly simple. Patients arrive at the front door at our A&E departments, and they're assessed, they're treated, and when they're well enough, we discharge them out. Now that works beautifully when you've got good flow from front to back door.
But in mid-October, there's a surge in admissions, and the hospital starts to become congested.
Oh my goodness. I'm not even kidding you. As I was walking here, about 3 ambulances went past. I was just like...
After 2 months in A&E, Morgan finds herself on the front line of the winter pressures.
Look at this. What the hell?
So how long has she been like this?
The main issues we have, and as most acute hospitals have, is that we have too many patients presenting at the front door.
It's been 12 hours nearly since she did it.
They are increasingly elderly, they're increasingly frail, and they need a lot more support than they ever used to. And there's not enough social support out there to get them home, so they're stuck in the beds, and the whole system grinds to a halt.
Is it Mrs?
A&E is filling up with patients. They are being treated, but with the hospital almost at capacity. It's taking time to admit them.
What's the longest wait time?
20 hours and 16 minutes. That is crazy. It's like you've poured some really thick fluid down the drain and it just got stuck. So we've got like a little bath, all these patients in and in, no one coming out. So it's just going to fill and then it's just going to flood.
I was in the cubicle round there, but I've been promoted to the corridor. I just don't know what they're going to do with everybody.
Do you want to see me panicking today? It's looking particularly horrible. So there's 17 patients in A&E from yesterday.
Alison is the site manager. She's responsible for allocating the hospital's beds.
So you got that many at almost 20 hours in A&E?
Yes.
On a trolley?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's terrible.
When there's a bed shortage, the hospital works to a colour-coded system of alerts.
What level of alert is the hospital on?
Red.
And what's the next level of escalation?
Black.
It's Alison's job to try and free up beds for new patients.
Did you look at any?
Yes, 2-2.
Thank you. So I'm moving a medical patient down to a surgical ward. So I need to check the notes, I look at the patient, make sure they're suitable, and then the top patient from A&E can come round.
Have we got any rooms to review?
In A&E, Morgan's under pressure to see patients quickly and not admit anyone unless they're acutely unwell.
Is there a Terence Fenn? Hello.
Terence has come in with lower back pain.
Have a wander down. My name's Morgan, I'm one of the doctors.
Hello.
You really, really feel that pressure on you, but you don't want to rush your clinical assessment of someone because that's when you can make mistakes and that's when it can be dangerous. Can you lift one of your legs at a time up like this? How's that?
That's okay.
Brilliant. Other one?
Yeah, that one's easy.
You're like a gymnast. Brilliant. Thank you. It's really there in the back of your mind. Do I really need to send this person into hospital or can they go home? Because if I send that person into hospital and I give that bed to that person, what if someone else, even sicker, needs that bed and I've just given that one away? I can't really see anything obviously that's causing the pain that you're having. We can certainly try and send you home with some painkillers to see if that eases it off.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you. No problem. Nice to meet you too.
Adult red call 10 minutes, adult red call 10 minutes.
Over the next few days, the number of patients continues to rise.
It's quite busy, isn't it?
And one day, late in October, things come to a head.
What's the... Have you seen outside? My mouth just dropped. I was not expecting that. Oh my God. I've never seen it like that before. I was genuinely shocked.
Resus is now full.
What's your ETA? Shit.
But the ambulances keep on coming.
4 minutes away. What can we do?
With nowhere to unload their patients, the paramedics are having to stay with them.
The danger of patients not being seen is you've got an undiagnosed patient who could have a cardiac arrest, could have a massive GI bleed, could have a stroke at any time. What I absolutely do not want is a patient to die in an ambulance or on our corridor who's alone and has not been seen by anybody.
Okay, and do you normally look this pale?
Yeah.
Morgan is doing assessments in the corridor.
Okay, well, I'll request the x-rays so we can get a good view. We'll get that sorted and then we'll get you seen to. All right. There's a lot of very unwell people here and there's only a limited amount of doctors. You start to just feel a little bit like I'm feeling like I'm being pulled everywhere. Add him to the list.
With patients continuing to arrive, the hospital goes on to its highest level of alert.
It's looking very bad, so we just run the report and we're on black, so I'm just waiting for the exec team to get back to me to see what the plan of action is on that one.
Black alert is when there's people still coming in, but there's nowhere to put them. So basically the number coming in is exceeding the number going out, and we haven't got spare capacity. We get to the point where we are genuinely thinking, can we treat these sick people?
They have sent a message out to the ambulance people and to the local GP services just to say that we're in a very difficult position here.
Code Black means there's a significant risk to patient safety.
OK, everybody, should we make a start?
Carl calls an urgent meeting of the heads of department.
We have triggered black on the escalation process. There are 7 ambulances that we're holding at the moment with 7 patients on the corridor. So we've got to dig ourselves out of it. Grab every single consultant you can get your hands on to go through the patients and really have some really robust discussions around patients. The do really need to be here.
Move her to the discharge suite now and I'll get the next lady round in half an hour. Yeah. Yeah?
Where's my patient?
A&E feels most of the time a little bit like a sinking ship, that we're constantly bailing out water.
You're panicking. I think they're getting a bit frustrated at me.
It's almost become routine for us to have to put in emergency measures.
Oh, it's mental. You literally just want to have a remote and just press pause. You feel completely stretched beyond any limits that is acceptable. It's a horrible, horrible feeling, just feeling like you are absolutely losing this battle.
young woman has collapsed in the main waiting room.
Hello, Ella.
We've got a lady with a PV bleed who's just like not really responsive. She just doesn't look right. Into one. She just mentioned something about losing her baby. Ella, are you currently pregnant at the moment?
I was 2 months ago.
You were pregnant 2 months ago?
Placenta wouldn't come out.
Placenta wouldn't come out.
Not specific.
You had a hemorrhage, did you?
Yeah.
You're doing really well. I know there's a lot of people around you at the moment. Can you open your eyes for me? Brilliant, that's okay. That's fine, just get what we can and get a stat bag of fluids through. I just ran in and she was just like completely unresponsive. My arms are literally shaking. She perked up?
Yeah.
Good.
It's much better colour.
Good. She was like genuinely white when I saw her. My hands won't stop shaking, they need to stop shaking.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sure?
I was like, I could ask if my okay. Gonna be okay? That was stressful. It's really hard to think straight when you're getting asked 1,000,001 questions. Can I just write up some pain relief for this and check that ECG? Oh my God. At one point I just want the whole ground to just like envelop me, swallow me up, and just kind of curl into a ball and just wait for it to all end.
It's the morning after one of the busiest days of the year at Northampton General.
It's just turning this corner that always gets me worried, because that's when you start to see them piling up if they are there. Oh, it's fine. Nobody in waiting area too, which is always nice.
Morning. It's better.
That's miraculous.
It is miraculous, isn't it?
I think we had a concerted effort where everybody pulled together for the safety of the patients in A&E, and it's got us in a better position today. Longest wait is 12 hours. Still not appropriate, but better.
I suggest we take ourselves off black, go on to red, but we've got a lot of work to do to get ourselves into position for this weekend.
It's 10:45.
Pain and weakness in legs, 3 days prescribed codeine, but no relief. But he said it was helping.
Morgan's on a day shift.
Chappy, I've got a patient that's come back. And now I don't know. Same, but worse now.
Terence originally came in with lower back pain, but after Morgan sent him home, his conditions deteriorated.
I'm hoping there isn't anything I could have done differently, because he's very different today than he was the other day.
One of my biggest fears as a junior doctor was the idea that I might miss something and might miss a diagnosis or make a wrong diagnosis. You have such a responsibility. People come to you for help, and if you miss something, somebody could die, somebody could have an illness that isn't diagnosed in a timely manner, and the outcome could be so much worse if it isn't picked up early.
Hello, Terence.
Oh, here we are.
Hello. I knew I recognised your name when it came up on the screen.
That's worrying, isn't it?
I'm so sorry you're back. How are you?
Well, yes.
Not good.
Not good, actually.
So where is the actual pain?
Most of it is now in my backside.
In your back, okay.
No, backside.
In your bottom?
Yes, and down my back of my legs, particularly.
Okay, so that's changed as well.
And the front of the legs.
Getting any pain there?
Yes.
Where's it getting pain?
There.
Yeah?
And around the back.
Down the back. Okay. That's all right. You just relax for me. What is going on? Oh, I'm stressed. Because I'm worried that I missed something.
Morgan asks her registrar for advice.
This gentleman presented with some lower back pain, which had settled when he came to us, and bilateral lower leg pain, which was the front and the back of his legs. And he had some codeine and the pain really improved. Since then, he's not really got any better, and if anything, it's all got worse. He's such a lovely gentleman, and I'm just a bit worried that I might have missed something.
Did we do a AAA scan?
No.
Aortic scan?
No.
So can we
Because that's what I'm, that's what I'm running.
Get a scan thing on his bedside?
Yeah. Is it round here? I'm just worrying that we've missed something like a AAA. A abdominal aortic aneurysm.
If Morgan has missed a AAA, Terence's life could be in danger.
Morgan's told me all about you, and
Yeah.
we're just a bit concerned that we're not getting on top of things with you. Where does it hurt?
Oh, that's the back of my legs.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So sorry.
I wasn't expecting that.
We couldn't see anything obvious, such as a dilated aorta. She wants me to do an examination of his back passage just to check the tone and get a bladder scan, and then she's going to come and review the patient as well. Can I pop in? Hello.
Yes.
We need to make sure that you can feel your back passage. You know where I'm coming with this?
Yes.
So I need to have a feel around your back passage to check that you can feel there, and I'll ask you to clench if that's okay. So we'll come and let you know once we've come in.
Okay, that's fine. Oh.
So, who are you referring to?
How am I finding today? Don't ask me that question right now. I was finding it okay, and now I'm just a bit wondering if I could have done anything differently.
Confidence can be knocked very quickly. It's a fragile thing, but it's an important thing, because an underconfident doctor will question everything they've done. The patient will see that lack of confidence, and they won't trust the decisions that are being made.
I hate this feeling.
We got Joel Maxwell, please.
However, an overconfident doctor, in my eyes, will perhaps take chances that shouldn't be taken. As seniors, we have to keep people in check and supervise, but I think it's a tightrope that you have to learn to walk within yourself.
Dan is working in the A&E Pediatric unit.
He's had a bit of a wheezy cough for a week or two now. He hasn't improved at all. He's still very chesty.
His patient is a 6-month-old baby called Joel.
It sounds a little bit like bronchiolitis, which is a viral infection that comes on around this time of year. Because of how old he is and the fact that he's come in with a temperature, I need to go and have a chat to my consultant. Okay. It's one of our policies, so I'll just go and do that and then I'll pop back. Is that all right?
Okay, so should I stay here?
If you don't mind, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got a 6-month-old. He's been upper respiratory tract virally for the last week. He's feeding at about 50% of what he normally would, still having wet nappies. I think it's bronchiolitis.
And intercostal recession?
No.
Is there any tracheal tuck?
No.
So then he needs to come. Let's arrange for a chest x-ray.
Chest x-ray? OK.
Dan thinks it's a common infection, but his registrar, Nicole, wants to rule out something more serious.
It looks OK to me. That's his x-ray, boss.
He has infection going on here. I mean, we can give the peds reg a call.
We have the x-ray. Got infection here. I think he needs admission. He has infection going on. It's not clear lung fields.
So Nicole's concerned that that's a pneumonia.
Do you see a pneumonia?
I don't think that's a fair question.
Dan decides to ask for a second opinion from a more senior doctor, the A&E consultant.
I've got a 6-month-old, a temperature of 38.2, sounds a bit bronchiolitis-y. We've done an x-ray and Nicole's concerned it might be some consolidation.
Yeah, I think I'll have to go and have a listen to his chest myself.
From my initial assessment, I thought this was bronchiolitis and I was quite happy. And then I think I'm a bit concerned now that I'm doing the wrong thing because of... Yeah, I think Nicole's kind of giving me a bit of a, oh, I've done completely the wrong thing. But anyway, we'll see what you think. He's very cute.
There's been a bit of discussion about Joel's x-ray. There's an area on it that looks like infection to me, and I think he'd be best to come into hospital for a short period of time to have some antibiotics.
Yeah.
You know, do you...
Can I ask about?
Yeah.
I think if I'd have seen him and not discussed him with anyone, I don't think I'd have done an X-ray in the first place.
OK. You'd normally expect to keep a bronchitis to be better after a week.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, Dan?
Huh? Yeah. No, you were right. You know your stuff. You build up this kind of persona of confidence and competence and all of this in your head, and you say, right, I'm good at this, I can do this. Then when you find out that what you actually did was probably not what a consultant would have done, it knocks the foundations from under this thing you've built about yourself.
Dan's not the only one worried about their diagnosis. After further investigation, Morgan's patient Terence is being blue lighted to Leicester for an emergency operation. He has a compressed nerve in his spine.
Do you ever doubt yourself?
All the time. That has been a thing that I've done from day one, from growing up. Always been a confidence thing. I'm someone that can't shut that doubt away. What if I did miss it? What if I really don't know what I'm doing?
Pediatric red call, 10 minutes. Pediatric red call, 10 minutes.
2 weeks later, Morgan's called to resus to see a baby with sepsis. She and her registrar decide to move the patient to the pediatric unit for observation.
Okay. She's very well. We've just worked out her EWS and she's scoring a 1, but we still feel that she's more than that. And the temperature was 37. We've got her obs written down, 37, 193.
So how old is she?
She's 6 months.
The paediatric team have a system for measuring how sick a patient is, and the nurse is questioning Morgan's scoring. She thinks the baby's too sick to leave resus.
Doesn't make any sense.
So parental concern is 1.
Yeah, that's
Heart rate
1.
is 1.
So it was 2
Respiratory
on
is
obs and 1 on parental concern.
It's all right, take a breath. Doesn't matter. Her EWS doesn't matter.
Anyone that questions me and my ability has instantly got to the core weakness to me. Press that little button there. It's just like, ugh. But it's all about the confidence thing. Don't know why I'm getting upset.
What's wrong? Hey, what's wrong?
I don't even know why I got
Shut
upset.
up, yapping. Go sit down. It's a kid in resus who's septic. He's allowed to make you upset. You're already on edge and then somebody's telling you you're doing it wrong.
Oh, it just feels really silly. I don't know why I'm getting upset. I'm so embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed.
She was just like questioning like everything I was trying to just do. No, they're not scoring 1, they're scoring this. And I'm like, just trying to work it out. I'm like genuinely feel like humiliated right now.
Okay. Just take your time. Don't march out there too early because you'll just go off again and you'll feel worse.
Someone plays on like that one insecurity. And I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Need to get a thicker shell, don't I? I don't want to go back there.
Oh, I'm getting that.
I can't wait for this shift to be over. What time is it? Oh my God, I've still got like 8 hours of this shift.
8.5, technically.
I can't actually show my face out there.
Oh, stop giving yourself such a hard time. Bloody hell.
So I'm feeling pretty down in the dumps just about everything right now. I just feel like my confidence has taken an absolute battering and it's just been one thing after the next. Did you try and do this intentionally to kill yourself or to harm yourself?
Yes.
I just want to see something good. a shift to go without worries or doubts. Shifts are relentless, and what you see just emotionally bashes you. On arrival, she was actively vomiting. I'm physically and mentally absolutely exhausted. I'm just, actually for the first time, just beginning to question why the hell I'm doing this and if I'm even good enough to do any of this. So this is when I'm home. This is everyone. Hello!
Had a good drive.
This is my house. This is my dog. This is my granny. Hello. This is my dog.
Morgan's gone back to her parents' farm.
It's so nice just to be home. No clocks, no 4-hour waiting targets, and just be me, Morgan, just a normal 24-year-old standing in beautiful countryside, finally getting a bit of fresh air.
She has a few days off from A&E.
I find it really difficult to just leave things behind, especially if I've seen something really sad or I've dealt with something quite distressing. Actually, when you get home, or when you come home like I am now, I actually have a chance to think about everything that I've seen and all of the stuff that I've dealt with. Before, I used to break down at everything, and now I've learnt to just become a little bit less emotional, but things still bother me.
Have you ever been upset by anything you've seen? When I was in my first year, there was a lady on the medical ward who was a bit unwell and we couldn't quite work out why, and she'd been to the CT scanner and it turned out that she'd got an aortic dissection pretty much from top to bottom. And she started to go off really very quickly, as you'd expect with, you know, your main blood vessel in your body tearing itself apart. She asked me if she was going to die. You can't say no, because they are, and you can't kind of go, yeah, because that's awful. And what do you say? You just got to hold their hand and go, it's looking like it's not going to be great. But I can't even remember what I said to her. But yeah, that one got to me. Well done, well done. There've been a few like that have caught me off guard, but they're happening less. No, don't be silly, that's all right, that's what we're here for. I look up to Dan because, in a way, he's everything that I wish I could be. He doesn't seem that bothered or affected by anything that he sees. But he's not a robot. I've seen him with patients and he's really, really nice with patients. And he's got that air of calm around him, which you want. Do you want a blanket or something to put your head on?
What a lovely doctor.
Do you want to be more tough?
Yeah, I think it would help me just get on with my life if I could be.
Morgan's back in resus. She's nearing the end of her rotation.
Person who had a headache, nausea and vomiting yesterday evening and then has been found collapsed, GCS4, has had 2 seizures.
Her patient is a 62-year-old man who was found collapsed at home. The doctors suspect that Vincent has had a stroke. He was brought in by his wife, Sharon.
Just reading Romans 8:28. It's the one that says all things work for the good. Things may seem really bad, but in the long run, you know, it's going to work out for the good, even if it doesn't work out the way we thought it was going to be. I'm kind of saying to God, you know, I don't want him to live a cabbage life. He wouldn't want that, and I wouldn't want that for him. If it's his time, then I have to prepare myself mentally ready for that.
OK, Vincent, we're going to slide you across now. We're going to do a scan, all right?
is armed.
There's a lot that he's got to look forward to, even though he's had a good life. He's 62.
Injection in progress.
Twin daughters, both at uni. I'm just saying, okay, God, okay. You got this. I'll be okay.
Yes, is it? Oh.
The scan has revealed a massive bleed on Vincent's brain.
Yeah, it's big. I don't want to have to tell this lady that her husband's potentially going to die. Please don't.
Morgan will have to break the news to Sharon.
It's just a rubbish part of our job.
It's just part of it.
Hello. Hi, you Vincent's relative, wife. Hello, my name's Morgan, I'm one of the doctors. So we have done a pretty urgent scan on his head, and it has shown that he's had what we think is a stroke, and he does seem to have a bleed on his brain at the moment.
It's very serious, though.
At the moment, he's quite unwell. Yeah. Is there anyone you want to call or you want us to talk to, or?
No, the thing is, I lost my mother 8 months ago, my brother less than 6 months ago, in March, and my son in June.
That's a really rough year.
I keep thinking, who can I call? I don't want to tell anybody, because it's just too much for everybody.
Well, we can be here to be your support if you'd like. I know we're not relatives or friends, but we can be, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm quite happy just to sit with you if you'd like me to. Would you like to go through and see him? That's probably one of the first times I've had to really do that.
Yeah?
Their plan is to discuss him in their meeting at 8 o'clock, so they should be in there now. I really hope that it turned out well for them. But I'm slowly learning. To be able to carry out your job effectively, you just need to learn to detach yourself. Having emotions running really high will not help me help that person. Have a good day, everyone. Oh, it's so bright. And I feel proud of myself for the way that I handled myself there. I was a doctor then. I am a doctor. Oh. Yes. You guys can go now. I'll just sleep like this for a long time.
Next time, we follow the junior doctors looking after the hospital's youngest patients.
Neonatal peri-arrest.
Look at the ECG machine.
Heart rate?
She's now getting to a critical stage where her airway can close off and she may collapse.
Children change so quickly. 1 minute they're well and 1 minute they're not. And that scares me.
We can put her into one. Hello, Lenny. My name's Morgan. I'm one of the doctors.
There are over 63,000 junior doctors working in Britain's hospitals.
You squeeze my hand if you understand what I've said.
As young as 23, they are the foot soldiers of the NHS.
And how are your bowels and waterworks? Yeah, it is not glamorous. It is not glamorous.
Hey, baby. Hey.
They'll welcome us into the world.
Aww, awesome.
Do we have a pulse? No. No.
They will be there at the end.
Just stop.
Cardiac arrest on Foyndon ward.
Emergency.
All right, don't worry.
But they are working in hospitals that are treating more patients than ever before.
We are utterly, utterly full.
We've got just no room, no beds, no space.
Everything is stretched. We haven't got a lot more to give, and something needs to change.
These doctors have become a symbol of the state of the NHS.
We are doing our best, we are working our hardest, but it's just not enough.
Filmed in one regional hospital at the height of the junior doctor crisis. This series is about the young doctors who are the future of our health service.
To survive as a junior doctor, you must have courage. Courage to cope with what we see day in, day out. Courage to deal with people at the very worst moments of their lives. And courage to work in a system that can't cope with the pressure it's under.
Every day in Britain, over 6,000 children are admitted into hospital. Some will arrive by ambulance, others on foot, but almost all will end up in the care of a hospital's pediatric department.
Oh, really? I know. I'm being a meanie, aren't I?
Oh, a bit sicky.
It's cramped, stressful, usually hot, and quite noisy.
It is chaos, particularly in the waiting room area. You know, some of them are wandering around all over the place, crawling around the floor. It is like a zoo, but it's a zoo I like working in.
Good, good.
For junior doctors, training in this speciality is one of the longest in medicine.
Can you do a big breath for me?
And every year, new recruits take their first steps onto the ward.
Oh, no, it's fine. Hiya there. I'm Dr. Patel, one of the children's doctors.
27-year-old Fahim is a third-year doctor, just beginning life as a pediatric junior.
So, oh, I think he's hungry. He's rooting for me. He's looking. Oh, you won't find any milk here, I'm afraid. As a medical student, the truth is, I hated pediatrics. It's completely noisy, you can't think. You've got nurses shouting at you, you've got parents shouting at you, and you have the child crying. There's nowhere for you to run. But I realised in paediatrics, you work as a detective, having to take the history, examine, and figure it all out. Is that all right? As a doctor, that really is the holy grail.
Fahim is working nights in the neonatal ward.
Hey, baby. I know you're not gonna like this.
On the bottom rung of the ladder, he's given the most junior tasks.
Sorry. When you turn up to a night shift and you're given a list of 10 newborn babies that need their heels pricked tonight for a blood test, God, your heart absolutely sinks. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. All I know is all night I'm just going to be hearing echoes of newborns screaming. Sorry, baby. Oh dear. See, there's no problem with your lungs.
Fahim is the only junior in the neonatal ward at night.
The pH is now 7.24, and the PCO2 has risen now to 8.
Nurses are there, and a registrar can be called, but up to 20 sick babies are under his care.
And we've stopped the vancomycin, have we? Or?
He's got one more dose.
He's got one more dose. Lovely. Okay, right. And baby Harper.
She had a gas yesterday morning, but she's been self-ventilating there since
Lovely.
Tuesday morning, so she probably doesn't need a gas again.
She's looking lovely, isn't she?
She is. There's such a huge variety of complex needs that these babies have, from something like their jaundice right through to a baby's stopped breathing and they're going into multi-organ failure. For junior doctors that have potentially not much experience with babies, neonates, preterm babies, and being able to pick up those subtleties is a real challenge.
So that's a 98%, good. Heart rate of 177, good. Bit quick. It's the noises that really terrify you. There's lots of beeping of machines, and it's up to you as their doctor to first of all spot that there's a problem, as well as being able to deal with it. And that's terrifying as a junior. So we'll get those sent off as a matter of priority. Oh shit, wait.
Neonatal team to Theatre 2 on Searchridge Ward.
Right, red section.
3 hours into a day shift, Fahim's called to theatre. A mother is having problems in labour.
Sorry. This is not good. Not good, not good. Oh, dear. Hi, PSHO. Sorry I'm late. Hi, how can I help? When I'm in theatre and I'm there waiting at the end of the bed thinking, God, I hope this baby's coming out okay. I hope this baby's going to be okay. And waiting for these obstetricians to just cut through each layer patiently, and I'm patiently waiting. And it's that scary moment when the waters have broken and the paediatrician reaches in to get that baby and she says, I can't get it. Then you start to panic and you start to think, God, I can really hear that clock ticking now. That baby needs to come out now.
The baby is breech and not making any noise.
Difficult extraction. Right, when that baby comes out and there's no cry, yeah, your heart just stops. You're just like, oh God, I just want this baby to cry. Please cry, baby, just cry, just cry. And you're just thinking to yourself, give me that baby now. If that baby isn't crying, I want to see that baby now. Are you ready, Ruth? Yep, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, let's have a look. All right, I'll pick up baby if you're happy to.
Yeah, I'll take the next towel off.
Yep, so, got it. That's better. And then you hear that cry. Wow, it's music to your ears. Genuinely, it's just, the relief is immense. So that's better. You are so breech. Put your legs down, lady. I'm your baby, not I? Hey, hey, hey. Dad wants to hold you. Oh, here, Dad.
Dad doesn't know how to hold it.
Oh, that's okay. So one hand behind the head, one hand around the legs and the arm. You'll be fine, Dad.
Give it a go.
The head is the most important thing. That's great, that's great.
I now know everything.
When you present that newborn baby to that mum and that dad for the first time, you are witnessing the start of the most beautiful and enduring relationship of these three people. It's wonderful. Congratulations. It really is a privilege as a paediatrician to be able to be there.
Northampton Pediatric Department looks after children from birth to the age of 16.
Doing well at school?
Yeah.
Yeah, happy? Good.
Its 3 wards are staffed by specialist nurses, consultants, and a team of junior doctors, the most senior of whom are pediatric registrars.
He's okay. Shall I listen to Teddy first? Yeah. Go on then, let's listen to what Teddy's got to say first. Right, Teddy?
34-year-old Nita has been in pediatrics for 3 years. She's in her first months as a new registrar.
Does Mikey sound okay? Shall we have a listen?
Yeah.
Oh, good job. The night before you become a registrar, you're very nervous. It's this overwhelming sense of, this is it. I'm going to have to see every single one of these children and sort out their problems. Hello, guys. What does your top say? Rules are made to be broken.
Nita is working across every ward and in charge of over 10 other juniors.
Who hasn't passed maternity?
Hasn't passed maternity.
Okay.
As a registrar, there are times when you're the most senior doctor in the hospital. You know you've got 3 or 4 patients to review. There's also a new patient that's coming. You've got some bloods to do. A&E are ringing you about other things. You've got to be able to multitask and do all these things in the right order without letting it all fall apart.
How do you think he's doing?
Oh, he's a lot better than he was Thursday. Oh, he looked terrible Thursday.
I'll try and stay as calm as I can. But I can assure you that I'm absolutely... My heart is racing. I can't even hear the child's heart because my heart is going probably just as fast. Children are really scary because you don't really know what's going to happen next with them. They change so quickly. One minute they're well and one minute they're not. And they are the most important thing to the parents. And you are being entrusted with their healths and lives. And that scares me. Hi, Pediatric Registrar, how can I help you?
It's 7 p.m, and Nita has been called to a seemingly routine burns incident.
Thank you, bye-bye. It's a 18-month-old burns child, been burnt quite significantly, that they're finding difficult to cannulate, so they would like some paediatric input for cannulation.
On arrival, the situation proves much more acute.
Have a look at him if that's right. You hold him.
A toddler has received burns after knocking a cup of boiling Bovril onto himself.
So start from the beginning. Explain to me what's brought him in on this occasion.
We were sitting on the sofa. I asked if she wanted a cup of tea, boiled the kettle, made the tea, made the bottle, walked into the living room, put the tea and the bottle on the table, went back to shut the door. As I shut the door, he grabbed the bottle off the top of the table and went like that.
You just didn't it? When you are the registrar, your job is not just to look after that patient, but it's to look after that family. Has he ever had any problems with his breathing from birth?
No.
They almost want you to tell them that it's not their fault. It's okay, it's okay. And it's making those parents realise that I am going to treat your child regardless of what's happened. Okay, so I need him with his legs facing, is it Granny? Yeah. No, legs facing Granny.
Nita must inject fluids urgently to keep the child hydrated before transferring him to a specialist burns unit. Midway through the procedure, a more serious problem appears.
What's this?
Along that, I've
got blood vessels in it. Hemangioma. That's the word. So hemangioma is a collection of blood vessels. If they're big, they'll be connected to bigger vessels. So if you get a burn on top of a big hemangioma on the chest wall, you need to be worried about if this burn burns the overlying skin to the hemangioma and these vessels just continually bleed. Because if that ulcerates, we will have a problem.
Yeah. Do you want to transfer him with blood in case, in transfer?
I think we should. We've got a bit of a problem. The hemangioma, it's quite a large one. If the burn ulcerates it, it could bleed. That worries me.
Yeah.
So in the ambulance ride over, we'll send you with some blood. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is to make sure that you guys are safe enough to get there.
Yeah.
Before transferring the child, the burn must be dressed. It's the most painful part of the procedure.
It's okay, darling. It's okay.
Oh, good job, young man.
After an hour of treatment, Nita's work is complete.
I'm going back up to the paediatric ward.
No.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully I won't see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. I think one of the crucial jobs of a paediatrician is to take that child from a place where they are unwell to a place where they are better, but also that family from a place where they are stressed and anxious to a place where they are understood and calm. Brings with it immense responsibility.
See you soon. I'll see you when you get there.
It's early winter, and Northampton is in the grip of a cold snap.
Can I have a listen to your breathing? Is that all right?
Winter is definitely the most stressful time in paediatrics. The wards are crammed with all these small babies with bronchiolitis who need oxygen or help with feeding. We can't possibly send them home, and yet there's more coming through our doors.
Bless you. Right, let's do this. Whatever this may be.
Nita, still in her first months as a registrar, is working in PAU, the Pediatric Assessment Unit, where all new patients are first seen.
Hi guys. Hello.
PAU in winter, it's all the sights and sounds of family life brought into a very stressful situation.
Okay, he tolerated 200 mils of this earlier on, but then vomited.
For someone that's coming in that's not experienced that before, it's a total assault on their senses.
Hi, it's the paediatric registrar. I've just been bleeped twice by two different... Where have we got to? Who's this chappie waiting for bloods? I'm going home, going home. Operator.
Numbers today are some of the highest this year.
You send him to PAU, we'll see him here.
As a new registrar, it's Nita's job to assess who needs to stay and who can go home.
Right. Where am I going next? You have to make pressure decisions very quickly to try and clear the ground, but also accurate decisions. So I don't want to just clear them out. I want to make sure that they go to the right place, that they go home and they're well to go, enough to go home, not just because there's so many people here, I need to send people home. Hi. Hi, my name's Nita. I'm one of the paediatric registrars. So start from the beginning, guys, and explain to me what brought you guys in.
It's just her breathing that worries me.
OK.
We've been in this situation before. She was in for 5 days, dependent on oxygen. Liz, wait a minute.
She's doing it for you.
When you first become a registrar, you are permitted to discharge patients, and that is a considerable responsibility. Can we just try and get all these loose ends sorted out so that we can get people out? So just discharge as many people as we can, and then get back to me if something needs to be discussed or reviewed.
Yeah.
The worry is that you could be sending home someone who doesn't appear ill but will become ill at home and deteriorate and end up being readmitted, or even worse, die. And it's quite worrying, thinking, am I doing the right thing? Is it safe to do?
Every patient, Nita admits, gets a bed.
It's just the sucking in.
But this department has had no increase in bed numbers for 20 years, despite a soaring local birth rate.
We've got no beds across Paddington, we've got no cubicles on Paddington Ward.
So not that many beds. We've probably got very few beds, and are probably filling them as we speak.
Disney have got no cubicles, they've only got 4 beds. They've only got 2 nurses tonight and 2 nurses tomorrow. So that's that.
So I've potentially got maybe 1 bed, 1 cubicle to work with?
No, just 1 cubicle.
Midway through her shift, Nita has only 1 bed left, and there are still people waiting.
Maximilian. So, blood in poo, is the problem. Yeah. It's been going on for a little while, about 2 weeks now.
2 weeks, yeah.
Have you got pictures?
Yeah, I've had a few pictures.
I like poo pictures. Everybody's got them on their phone.
That was yesterday as well.
I think we definitely need to investigate a little bit further. But we're waiting for a bed.
Right.
Okay? Now I need to discuss with you what we're going to do between now and tomorrow. My feeling is that I send you guys home, but you're not actually technically discharged. How does that sound?
Yeah, well, it's a bit scary, but yeah, I want to know what's going on.
And I know it's scary,
Find out what's happening.
but I think we should find out what's going on.
Well,
Thank you,
so
guys.
we're free to go now, yeah?
Yeah, just give me like 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
If you decide to give her some ibuprofen, make sure she's eaten something first.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry, can you just come? He's just having a fit.
Okay, it's okay. Can I get a saturation code?
Yeah.
And can we get him on a bed? Do we have a bed?
Is there a bed?
In the waiting area, a child has unexpectedly started fitting.
Plastic sats program. Can I get some oxygen? Okay. You're all right. Come with me, Mum. Come on. Can I get some oxygen, please? Get some oxygen. No, I haven't got any.
Can we get some buckle and dice? What time are we?
We are about 2 minutes, but I haven't got a...
Step roll, okay.
Okay.
Let's put him on this, put him in recovery position. Come in, Mum. Mum. There you go.
What's his name? Ryan. Let's give him a little bit of time, okay? There is pressure. You can hear it and you can see it and you can feel it, but you need to be able to put on a face that says, don't worry, I've got this. Oh. Even if sometimes you don't know what you're doing.
Oh, hi. Dad.
Is he all right?
He's fine. On this occasion, it was very in keeping with the febrile convulsion. So when children get hot, their seizure tolerance level is really low, so they tend to fit. And unfortunately, that's what Ryan's going to do and every time he's hot until he grows out of it. But they do grow out of it. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to let him cool down. When you've become a registrar, you've got to perform. You have got to perform in a performance that you've never been in before. Can we send this one home? It's like one of those cartoons, do you know, where they're walking along and then they fall into a hole. I want to speak to the surgical registrar, and all of a sudden you are in a different environment, in a different situation that you have to become adaptable to. So you can't be, not on your game. You've got to be able to respond to that situation very quickly.
Excuse me, please. That's mine.
Across on the neonatal ward, Fahim has completed his first months as a paediatrician.
Hi, guys. We need to admit one to our unit. So it's a baby that's just been born now, 35 weeker.
Many of his shifts have been at night.
Okay, right.
The long hours are beginning to take their toll.
I am suffering at the minute with those night shifts. The tiredness really sets in. You can barely keep your eyes open. Every part of your body aches. Your mind feels like it's in a vault and you can't think. You worry about missing something and that child is going to become poorly because you've misread something in your blurred haze of tiredness. It was an induced labour, actually, at 35 weeks because of static growth.
And at delivery, yeah.
And baby was born in good condition. I got to a stage this morning where I was just so tired, just absolutely exhausted. I could barely finish my own sentences. I could barely even just barely move.
Junior doctors in particular, they're working very long shifts, often no breaks. The exhaustion manifests itself in sometimes poor decisions. In paediatrics, you absolutely have to be 100% all the time because of the subtleties of what we do.
Just got on your admission. I'm just going to take him into the treatment room for his cannula.
It's 2 a.m. on a night shift, and Fahim has been called to a sick newborn.
This baby was born prematurely. He's only about 1.7 kilograms. And also, mum's waters had broken for about a day. This puts this baby at significant risk of developing an infection. At this stage, they have a very immature immune system, and so they won't be able to fend off infection. So we need to give antibiotics before baby gets sick. Ideally, we need to get these antibiotics in within the next 15 minutes.
Is he the one that was induced earlier today?
He was.
Fahim must insert a cannula into the baby's arm to administer the drugs.
Doing a cannula on a newborn baby, especially one that's preterm, is incredibly difficult.
It's the most important thing I'll probably do tonight. Very nervous. Okay.
It's like putting thread through the eye of a needle. This baby has a tiny little vein. It's so fragile. The margin of error is millimeters or less.
Okay.
Fahim hits a blood vessel, but it's not big enough to take the antibiotics.
I'll have to put another cannula in. It's bleeding well, but it's not going to stake. We'll try again. There's a vein next to it anyway. Okay. Okay. Got it?
Yep.
There you go.
Hey.
Okay. I could not believe that just happened. It got hooked on something, and as I pulled back, it fell out. I cannot believe that just happened.
Fahim's 15-minute window for giving antibiotics is now closing fast.
Your heart just, you almost can feel it in your chest. Your hands are so sweaty. The glove starts to stick to your fingers.
This is it.
This is it, it really is, yeah. This will be my last attempt.
It just feels like everything is conspiring against you.
No. That vein's gone. Right? Not good.
Before calling a registrar, the neonatal nurse has one attempt.
There's another good vein here, but it's whether I can get into.
Ah, brilliant. Got it? Well done. Brilliant. Excellent work. Thank you. Whew.
That's all right. Thank you.
All right.
I'm not used to failing. I breezed through school. I got into med school, which was really competitive. I'm usually very successful at everything I do, and dealing with failures, it's a horrible feeling. To have to admit to yourself, actually on this occasion, I just wasn't that good. You do start to doubt yourself, and sometimes even your suitability for this career.
For all paediatricians, treating children is a demanding job. Their patients need close care around the clock. Finding a balance between work and life is a challenge every junior must face.
She's climbed up the water spout, down came the rain. That's fine.
Alongside being a registrar, Nita is also a mum herself.
So this is Samir's playroom. It's so full of toys because every time I'm at work and I feel a little bit guilty about leaving him, I buy him something. So when I come in here, although I see a great room for us to play in, I do sometimes see the amount of times I've left him. Yes, there's guilt. There's immense guilt.
Please.
Being a registrar and a mum, it's brought new challenges for me. largely because the responsibility I have to my patients is quite immense. I have to be the first one there. I have to be the last one to leave. Come here, Baba. Mummy's going to go to work now. It's okay. Mummy's going to come back.
She'll come back later.
Mummy will come back. Oh, Baba. Samir, look. Mummy will come back, okay?
She'll come back later.
Mummy will come back. Come here.
Nita's rota means she works nights as well as some weekends.
Say bye-bye, Mummy.
Yes, it is interesting, isn't it?
But it's because it's well demarcated.
Have we got a report?
Tonight, she's in charge of the emergency arrest team.
Yes.
Yes, because Dr. Smith might have the A&E referral bleep.
Neonatal team to labour ward, theatre 1. Neonatal team.
I run faster for a neonatal fast bleep than I've ever ran, that I could possibly run, because the baby on the other end really needs you. Labour ward, there must be some sort of delivery. You may be the most senior person there when you get there. And all those unknowing parents believe that that person that they're going to get at the end of that bleep is going to know what they're doing. And it's going to save my child. Becky, where am I needed?
No, you're not.
Baby came out, cried.
So where are we going now?
Back to recess.
Did you actually need to
Run? Yes, of course I did. It's a baby. Every minute I slow down, every second I slow down, that's potentially a breath that baby didn't take. And I've got a junior on who I trust implicitly, but is still quite junior. Okay, tell me about them.
In one night, Nita is bleeped over 40 times,
Yeah.
never knowing what she will find when she arrives.
Hi, Josh. Peds is emotionally draining. I think it's because I quite frequently relate to the situations that are going on. What was if this was my child, or in this situation, well, how would I feel? And then in addition to that, medicine is not predictable. I don't know what time I'm going to come home. I don't know what time children are born. I have no control over that. You need to give them the steroid at about 11 o'clock. Your whole life revolves around how much you care for this job and for other people and for the profession.
All right, thank you so much.
In order to be a good doctor, I believe that you have to give 100% to what you're doing. And that's what I was doing until I had Samir. And then I gave 100% to being a mum. And now I don't have 200%. It doesn't work. And sometimes I feel like I'm not doing a very good job in either place.
Oh, excuse me. That baby's chilling, huh?
Across on the neonatal ward, Fahim is also finding pediatrics all-consuming.
Hey. I might need a hand in a minute, if that's okay. Just because he's quite fidgety, so I might struggle to get the line on. Yeah. At the moment, if I'm honest, there isn't much of a work-life balance.
Okay, lovely. I'm sorry.
Work just starts to take over your life, and it has to, because you're the lifeblood of the system. You are keeping the wheels turning.
For support, Fahim has his faith. As a practicing Muslim, he prays 5 times each day.
Having religion really helps me to get through the hard times, because I remember that I trust God, and I trust that if I dedicate my life to helping people and to doing good things, hopefully God will have plans for me. Being a Muslim, to help people is a form of worship. And as a doctor, I get to help people every day, and actually that's an expression of my faith.
Despite his struggles, Fahim's training means he's taking on ever more complicated work. Today, he has to take spinal fluid from a baby with suspected meningitis.
This will be my second lumbar puncture in this age group. Whew. If you completely mess this procedure up, you could effectively cause paralysis. Last time it was fine. The sample was a tiny bit blood-stained, which does happen. It's technique-related sometimes. So I'm hoping on this occasion we get something we call a champagne tap, clear fluid, rather than blood. Fingers crossed, eh?
Fahim is supported by a nurse and senior registrar.
Okay. You sure you're happy there? Looks a little bit like you're happy with it's in line with your eyelid crest, yeah?
Let me check again. Space there.
Okay. So you want to be nice and level, aim towards the umbilicus, okay? Okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's good.
Very good. Okay, that's it. Don't go too far. All right, let's have a look, see what we've got.
Blood.
Okay. No, I think we've got too much blood, haven't we? I think you unfortunately clipped a blood vessel.
Okay. Oh, man.
Fahim has missed the spinal canal. This time, he only has one more attempt.
I see scared junior doctors on a frequent basis. They're just so overwhelmed by the pressure that is on them. And sometimes they have to make mistakes to learn from that.
You're going up a little bit, try and level off a bit. Yeah.
Bloodstone.
Come out a little bit, see if it clears up.
It's thoroughly frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, we run out of gauze. I'm just going to get some. It's too heavily bloodstained.
Too heavily bloodstained, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Sorry.
Is it better now, actually? Try now.
That's clearing. Let's capture it.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's clearing up lovely now.
Keep that needle away.
Yeah, I've got it, yeah.
On his second attempt, Fahim is successful.
Right. Good job.
Oh, thank God you were here. Thank you.
Sorry?
Welcome. That was absolutely exhilarating, nerve-wracking. I can't tell you how fast your heart is beating into your mouth when you're doing that procedure. There was quite a lot of blood, but got there in the end, got the sample, so there we go. It's moments like these, it really hits you that there's a limit to my ability, there's a limit to my skill, a limit to my experience. Special delivery for you. She was absolutely lovely with us. She was really calm and settled up until the point we had to hold her, which she hated. But she was absolutely lovely, you know. I need more time. I think that's what I've learned. I think I need more time to get the experience and to get better at what I do. Thank you very much. Bye, Evelyn. Bye. Thanks. Okay, baby girl. Yeah. Happy birthday, baby girl. Huh?
By the end of 2016, Fahim's been a paediatrician for 5 months.
Slippery baby. All right, lovely.
His confidence is slowly growing.
Lovely, hi. I'll just come to the baby check if that's okay. Yeah. 5 fingers, 5 toes, a good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tonight, he's on a night shift and has been called to a baby with breathing difficulties.
Good evening, hi. This is Teddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so has she been coughing?
Yeah, like a really loud, kind of piercing cough.
I'm just going to have a listen to your chest then, sweetheart, if you're going to let me. We need to keep an eye on her, actually.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side. If I were to offer you admission to stay overnight, would you
Yeah,
stay
definitely,
with us?
yeah, I'll stay.
So Teddy's got croup, which is a swelling of your upper airways. So if that airway, which is normally that size, gets swollen from infection, from this virus, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And what you're hearing is, with that stridor, is that the airway's tight. That's dangerous.
Over the next 4 hours, as Fahim monitors her, Teddy deteriorates.
Yeah. So now she's got reduced air entry, and now her breathing is much harder than it was.
Fahim calls on Nita for support.
She's got significant stridor.
Oh God, it's gotten much worse since we left
I'm
her.
going to put her in HDU.
Yeah, HDU, Jesus.
Are you all right sorting this out?
Of course, yeah. Cool. She's actually taken a turn for the worse. She's now getting to a critical stage where her airway can close off and she may collapse. We're going to move her to the high dependency unit because this is an airway emergency. For severe cream, not effective control of cortisol, nebulizer joint.
Fahim must prescribe the correct steroid dosage.
Page 128, come on. There is it? Yeah. 1 up to 11, yeah, 400 mics per kilo, max 5 milligrams, 400 mics per kilo. She's 8.9. I still worry a lot. I worry that I've done things wrong. I've worried that I've said the wrong things. You worry about every little thing, and I've learned, as a paediatrician, you have to worry. Times 8.9, 3.56. If you're a bit too calm, a bit too casual, the chances are you have missed something.
This time, Fahim has got it right first time, and the steroids calm Teddy's breathing.
Just let her get settled with it. Hey, honey. It's worked. Her airway's now wide and open. She's no longer got that stridor sound, that every time she was breathing, it's all disappeared. She's really calm, she's really settled. I'm really happy. Over the past couple of months, I've started to care for these little ticking time bombs a little bit more, actually. They all have their own personalities, despite sounding all the same with their screaming. Hey. Yeah. I've fallen in love with them. Hi.
Fahim's first 5 months are only a small step on the 8 years of training that lie ahead of him.
It sounds really far-fetched at the minute, but I want to be the complete paediatrician. I want to be that go-to doctor that people will know of and people will hear of and say, well, that's Fahim. He came and sorted my child out. Let's do it. It's going to look like I'm dropping in, but I'm not, I promise. Despite all the low moments, this is definitely what I want to do. And it's only through failure do you learn to win. Oh, wow.
Hello, Pediatric registrar. How can I help you?
Across on the assessment unit, Nita is facing another busy shift.
Yeah. So we've got a plan. Got a plan.
Today, they are several staff short.
What do you want me to do?
Just hold his head. Yeah. One more time.
I'm sorry if you're sick.
No, it's fine. The rotor has always got gaps on it, but it's not anything new. People step up and do shifts that they are not normally rotated for. We all chip in, we all help. Just continue and I'll come over to you as soon as we can. No problem.
Nita stepped up to being a registrar seamlessly.
Hello.
And is beginning to find a balance between work and the rest of her life.
Before I had a son, my world was paediatrics. I ate, breathed, slept paediatrics. I will never be that doctor that I was before. But I hope that the doctor I've become is a better doctor. Can I have a feel of your tummy, young man? Where does it hurt? I think about Samir all the time. It's difficult. I like your Superman pyjamas. Had a very poorly child come into me in A&E, and the child was wearing the same pyjamas as Samir's got. In fact, the same pyjamas that I left him in before I came into work that day. And all I could think about was Samir. Hello, baby. Are you okay? Samir? Are you playing with Daddy? Oh, that's good.
7 years after she became a doctor, Nita's now working part-time.
You got a card for me. That's nice.
It will take her 4 extra years to become a consultant.
Mummy's going to come home from work soon, okay? Bye. I love you too. I think that I've now come to terms with it, that I do my absolute best at what I do. And when I'm with Samir, I'm 100% his mum. But when I'm at work, I'm 100% a doctor. Because I know that what I'm doing is worthwhile. And I know that what I'm doing will make him proud of me. And he won't remember that I never saw his first steps. But what he will remember is that his mum fixes poorly babies.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye, sweetie. Sleep well.
Next time, junior doctors are working in the competitive world of surgery.
There's one more before you, and you're going after that.
It's not easy, not everybody can be a surgeon. We're like Top Gun.
Can we have the head down a little bit, please?
Young trainees have little room for any mistakes.
There is always a fear of messing something up that you can't fix.
Swab, please. Pressure it for a second. Let's see if we can get control over that again.
In every junior doctor's career, there comes a point where they specialize in their training. Every year, one area of medicine gets more applicants per place than almost any other.
Surgery is an art as much as it is a science.
Keep pushing.
But there are very few Mozarts and Beethovens.
Just follow the things you've learned.
Surgery is hard. It's not easy. Not everybody can be a surgeon.
Good.
We're like Top Gun.
That's correct. That's correct. We're all right with those two.
Almost a quarter of junior surgeons will not make it through the first 2 years of training in that time.
It's very demanding and it requires sacrifice.
Happy to do one next time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, for a year it was probably easy, yeah.
Thank you very much, Miss Gang. That was bloody brilliant.
32-year-old James is 3 years into his surgical training.
Thanks, everyone. It sounds very cliche, but growing up with things like ER and things like that, being a surgeon always seemed like a very cool and glamorous job to do. Right, give me 2 seconds, I'll be right with you. Hello, sir. So, you have a swelling in your testicle. Which side is it? Both of them. I just thought it would be sort of saving lives on a daily basis, being in theatre all the time, and nurses going, all doctor and all that sort of business. But sadly, well, not sadly, fortunately, the reality isn't quite like that.
James has recently become a registrar, the most senior level of junior doctor. With his new role comes much more responsibility. Today is one of the first times it's down to him to assess any acute referrals from A&E.
One of the challenges James will have is making that decision. Just when is the right time to say, yes, this patient needs an operation, or this one doesn't.
Should we go and see him?
64-year-old George was rushed into hospital by ambulance with severe abdominal pain.
Hello, sir. I'm James. I'm the surgical registrar. Tell us what's brought you into hospital.
Pain in my stomach.
When did that start?
About 12 months ago.
12 months ago?
Well, I've always got pain in my stomach, but some days it's all right, and then other days, but nothing like this.
OK. Any vomiting?
It's worse vomiting because it pulls on your stomach.
OK. What time did the pain start?
The pain's horrific.
James must decide whether George needs urgent surgery tonight.
It's going to lie you flat, all right?
Oh.
Is this the worst it's ever been?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really difficult. They've got this pain in their tummy, their blood tests are a bit, their examination, it doesn't really tell you very much. You just don't really know. Hello, sir.
He's ordered a CT scan to investigate the cause of George's pain.
What you don't want to do is to delay operations because you're not confident to make the decision and then end up with patients becoming more unwell because the operation has been delayed.
To me, it looks okay. The reason we did the scan was to make sure there was no hole in from an ulcer or something that was in the stomach. But to my reasonably untrained eye, it looks okay. It's nothing that needs an operation tonight, I don't think.
Reassured by the scan, James decides George will spend the night on the ward under observation, in the hope that he can soon return home.
It is a bit scary, and there is always that fear in the back of your mind that you miss something important.
Right, can I have a 80mm straight graph?
The world of surgery is dominated by men.
16, 18, 20, 22, that's your choice, okay?
Only 11% of all surgical consultants in the NHS are women.
We should have a tongue one side. That's it. Go over the top of that. Over the top. That's it. In there.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm happy if the rest of the boys are happy.
Surgeons inherently are very competitive. In order to get ahead in surgery, you have to be very domineering to some extent.
Be proactive, okay? If I come to the ward and find patients with breast pain, that is not acceptable.
The fact of the matter is that surgeons tend to be alphas.
I can be pretty nasty, you know?
At Northampton, of the 10 junior doctors training in general surgery, only one is a woman.
Hello, sorry to wake you up. Hi, my name's Kayla. I'm another surgical doctor.
32-year-old Kayla is from China. Like James, she's been training to be a surgeon for 3 years.
Every single day, every minute, you are competing with very ambitious men, egomaniac men.
You have to dress like a man, seriously, talk like a man, think like a man. Just have a look of your tummy.
My earliest memory of want to be a surgeon as 11 or 12.
My best friend actually came down with acute appendicitis. And then she got rushed into the hospital. And then 2 days later, she came back to the classroom and she said, I'm all cured. They took out my appendix and they all got inflamed and 100% back to normal. I just like, wow, that's amazing. So I thought, yeah, I want to be a surgeon when I grow up.
Okay, so I believe there's one more before you, and you're going after that.
All right, then. I'll see you later. Okay.
In the intensely competitive world of surgery, time in theatre is coveted. Today, James has 3 operations on his list, while Kayla has none.
Thank you so much. The thing about surgery is it's a practical skill. It's like becoming a pianist or something else. You want to have every opportunity that you can get to get into theatre because you know that one day it's going to be you by yourself. I think that she's found it difficult to get into theatre. I've had registrars and I've had to encourage them to push themselves forward.
Can I steal one of your appendix?
Well...
What, you want the open one?
No, that one. You've done that one.
No, we haven't done that one yet. We're
Wait.
doing the kid, that one.
No, you can do that one, yeah.
Okay. Can I have a 2 forceps, please? Length.
Having gained a spot in theatre, Kayla will now lead the operation to remove the patient's appendix under the supervision of a more senior surgeon.
Now, can we have the head down a little bit, please? We're all right. Yeah.
You need to have lots of confidence in yourself to do well in surgery.
He does have lots of blood. Do we have any longer port than this?
Why are you starting? Okay. There you go.
In the surgical ward, they don't praise you all the time. They're more of shouting at you the things what to do better. And that sometimes knocks my confidence off a little bit more.
Go in there. Yeah, put your hand. Be careful. Be careful. You don't know what that is. You okay? Keep going on there. Well done. Getting good. Yeah.
After 40 minutes, Kayla runs into complications.
Can I hold the camera for you?
Yeah, sorry.
The senior surgeon has to step in.
Can this go on spray, please, Doctor?
Thanks for taking over. Confidence doesn't really come naturally to me. Maybe I'm a bit, a bit timid, not brave enough. So I have to prove myself.
Quarter to recess for transfer, please.
It's 9:45 p.m. In A&E, James has just received the full results of the CT scan for his patient George.
Oh, shit.
What?
So CT report's come back and it shows that there is potentially a perforation in this chap. I mean, he's probably going to need an operation.
James wants a second opinion. He phones Mr. Kang, the on-call consultant, who's in his accommodation on site.
Hi, Mr. Kang. I'm very sorry to bother you. Do you mind if I discuss the patient with you, if that's okay? Phoning the consultant can be a difficult decision to make because I suppose there's a little bit of a fear of getting shouted at for ringing them for no reason. And I suppose there is a slight tickle of pride in the back of your head that you want to be able to make these decisions and be a grown-up surgeon and manage this on my own. All right, I will sort it out. Yeah. All right, sir. I'm afraid to say I wasn't quite entirely accurate when I looked at the scan, and when the radiologist had a look at the scan, he's worried that you do have a little hole in your stomach. You're going to need an operation tonight.
Okay.
Mr. Kang has come in to oversee James's operation.
Often people do die from peritonitis, so it's better to operate on these things early rather than let things get out of control. If you leave that kind of situation for 24 hours, it's a completely different ball game.
Not in a long time, actually. I'm a bit apprehensive because it's sort of one of the first times that I've seen a patient organise an investigation and made a decision about taking him to theatre, really. Certainly feeling the weight of the responsibility a little bit.
Diagnosis is correct. Get that in. Yeah, good. Perfect. Keep coming.
There is always a fear of cocking something up, messing something up that you can't fix.
This is your stomach.
Yep.
What you do, you pull it towards yourself and work your way down to the hole.
Right, okay.
And then through the hole like that.
Right.
Okay, monochrome for the skin, blue dressing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. King. Thank you very much, everyone.
George's operation was a success, and he should be able to return home in a few days.
I think now that it's had probably a good outcome, it's like breathing a big sigh of relief. I'm buzzing a bit at the moment, so I don't feel tired. It is a buzz. That's why I like surgery so much, I suppose.
My name is Zishan. I'm from Pakistan. I'm 25 years old. I've just finished an on-call week of 48 hours. Worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12-hour shifts each day.
I think I was very young when I decided to become a doctor. Basically, I've been brought up in a family of doctors. My sister is a doctor in Leicester. My two brothers are medical students, and my dad's a doctor as well. Always used to play with my dad's stethoscope, you know.
First year Zishan is fresh out of medical school, and he's already decided he wants to specialize in surgery.
I want to become a good surgeon. I want people to remember me as a good doctor.
Zishan's chosen surgery as his first rotation. He's got the next 4 months to prove himself.
It's my day off today, but I've decided to go to theatres because today I don't have any ward responsibilities, so I can spend my day all day in theatres.
Going to theatres puts a smile on my face. Doesn't matter if I have to work hard to go there. I don't mind starting my day early on. Good morning, Tracy. You seen Mr. Kang yet?
Nope.
Coming. What time is he coming? Do you know?
He comes when he comes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Kang is one of the general surgeons. He's very experienced. I'm keen to impress Mr. Kang because I think that's the only way he's going to teach me more.
Seen Mr. Kang anywhere?
He's just very enthusiastic for someone so young.
I don't want to miss him. Oh, there he is. Sorry, I couldn't find you yesterday. It's my day off today. Can I join you? Is that all right?
Yes.
You're doing a reversal of loop ileostomy and lab chole.
That'll be later on, but we've
Okay.
got registrar first.
More than welcome. Thank you so much. Thanks.
People expect from you a lot more in surgery than in other rotations. I mean, if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. That's fine, it's done. But the expectation is not to make a mistake.
With a full list in theatre today, the scrub team are under time pressure to get the operation underway.
Zishan, do you want to catheterize it? Go on, wash your hands.
Yeah.
You should have put that in by now. Come on.
Sorry.
Never touch the catheter.
Yeah.
Just get it on the top first. You need to push more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Push. That's it. Yeah. Done. There it is.
Sorry for the wait, dog.
Under the leg.
Sorry for the delay.
Go get scrubbed.
A lot of things going through my mind. Did I let them down? Was I slow? I don't know. So many things going on. Sometimes when things are not going right, you can feel your heart beating really fast. He's overly hard on himself. He's only in the first steps of his career. And to have such a self-expectation that you're going to achieve X, Y, and Z at such an early stage is asking a lot. It's good that he's enthusiastic, but I think he needs to just pace himself.
Like Zishan, Kayla moved to the UK to practice medicine.
My parents always want me to be a doctor. They're actually the main driving force for me to becoming a doctor. Back home, they think doctors are earning lots of money and they think it's a comfortable lifestyle, which is completely wrong.
What I'll do is I will pass that through the abdominal wall. So what I'll need you to do is put a grasper down and pass this tube.
Today, Kayla is assisting Claire Brown, the only female consultant general surgeon at Northampton.
Just press your finger over it. Being female doesn't stop you becoming a consultant surgeon, but there are fewer women at the top. Now, you might struggle doing this. I'll just come your end and help you.
Yeah.
I've seen many female registrars become disillusioned, and many junior doctors say that they would not want the lifestyle of a surgeon. So you on the Leicester rotation now?
No, I'm trust doctor. Because I don't want to move around.
It's not so bad if you're single, but if you're married...
Yeah, have a child. I got a child.
You've got a child?
Yeah, I got a 3-year-old. He's in China, I'm here. He's with my parents. I know, that's what I'm saying, it's crazy, isn't it? It's like I'm stuck here and then he's there, yeah. Oh, you poor thing. So, yeah. I have a son, 3.5 years old, full of energy, very active, can never sit down for 1 minute. Tie me up, please. I see him every 3 months, every 4 months when I go home.
In a minute, you will see the string coming in. There, right, okay. I'm going to come back with my camera so you can see what you're doing.
This job is too demanding. It's just not feasible for me to bring him over here. I can't look after him. I have to get a full-time nanny to look after him.
I just simply can't afford it. Yeah?
Right, okay, now, put your glasses in.
Jesus, hold on. Close it for me. Close it.
I think the thing about surgery is we are required to do very unsociable hours, but trying to find childcare for those unsociable hours is almost impossible.
Come back. I'm quite far back, okay.
I'm divorced and I have a 5-year-old son. And I couldn't manage without a complete network of people who go out of their way to help me, as well as the childcare that I pay for. And it's a big issue, and it's not just an issue for women. Men want to be part of families as well. It's an issue for them as well.
It's my son. Been naughty in school
and got caught red-handed on camera.
How old is he?
3. Now I'm going to tie him, make sure. I know I'm not going to be a good surgeon if I have a son at home. You can't be a good mom and be a good surgeon at the same time. Then you might just pick one and sacrifice one.
It's 9 a.m. and James is on ward round with his team.
Good morning, Mrs. Barnett. How's your foot been over the weekend? Is it giving you any pain?
Well, it is.
83-year-old Dorothy was admitted 2 weeks ago with a gangrenous foot, a potentially life-threatening condition.
So we've got a slightly difficult problem, haven't we?
This in terms of our aims.
Well, this is not going to heal. This is not going to heal up. Okay. I think that if we amputate her leg, that actually it's not going to prolong her life.
No.
Mrs. Barnett, what we're saying is whether you want an operation for us to do an amputation of your leg.
Ooh. Does it have to go that way?
No, it doesn't have to go that way. It doesn't have to go that way. For whatever reasons, be that what's going on in primary care and in social care, the patients are getting older, the conditions that we are seeing are more complicated. So we have to make sure that we're giving the trainees exposure to sometimes some complex decisions so they are able to make those decisions confidently and correctly.
Okay, so there's a lady called Dorothy Barnett who came in with a gangrenous left hallux that is almost sort of detaching from the main body of the foot.
She's got dementia. She's in either a nursing home or a residential home, and we got that decision, are we going to do an above-knee amputation, or are we actually just going to wrap up the foot and send her back? As a surgeon, it is so much easier to offer an operation, and we find saying no really difficult. But there is evidence that tells us what the likelihood is that somebody like Mrs. Barnett would survive an operation. And the statistics would suggest that she probably won't. What is the right thing to do?
I'd like you to try and eat a little bit more, keep your strength up.
With surgery unlikely to improve the quality of Dorothy's life, the team have decided that no further intervention is the kindest option.
All right, I think the doctors are going to come and talk to me in a minute.
It's down to James to have the end-of-life conversation with Dorothy's son.
Hoping.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. See how we get on.
Right.
Just try and rest and that, okay?
Yeah.
Quite often, if I'm on the ward, we will do those conversations together. But of course, the difficulty with that is that the patients and the relatives will always look to the senior doctor. And it's very difficult for the senior doctor not to take over, so the registrar then becomes just an observer. And so occasionally it's really important that they step inside the curtains and that they have those conversations, because you only learn by doing them.
So, what's your understanding at the moment about where we are and what we're doing? That
Well,
sort of thing?
I know you're doing the live aid treatment to give that a go, see if it would help with the wound.
There is nothing that we can do to heal the foot.
Yeah.
As we said last time, the only thing we could do really is a very high amputation above the knee. We have to start to think about what we would be doing it for. I don't think it would help to prolong your mum's life.
Oh, I understand.
And if it
yeah.
did, I don't think the quality of her life would be any better than it is now. Because I think the main things we have to start to think about are making sure she's comfortable and not in any pain, which I don't think she is at the moment. So one possible way forward is to say, stop the antibiotics and really make sure your mum's as comfortable as possible, and that's the ceiling of our treatment. So again, we try and get her out of this noisy, not very nice environment and keep her as comfortable as possible, and say that we should think about not bringing her back into hospital.
Okay.
Because, as I say, we have to start thinking about this what's going on with your mum is going to be the cause of the end of her life. Yeah. And we want to ensure that we're, in terms of her passing away in the best way possible, in terms of not being any pain, dignified, all those things, the best thing for her.
So what sort of time frame are we talking about?
We're thinking probably weeks to months kind of thing.
Yeah. As long as we can make sure we keep her pain-free, that's all I'm worried about.
Absolutely. Any questions or anything, we're here. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks for understanding.
sir.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
So those conversations are always very difficult to have because you have to strike a balance between being not blunt but fairly direct in the way that you talk to people, because you don't want any misunderstandings.
All right, I'll come and see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay?
Being a fairly new registrar, these are the sort of first few times that it's fallen to me to have those kind of conversations. So it is difficult.
Right, 亲爱的。
Trainee surgeon Kayla is a single mum. Her 3.5-year-old son Zach lives with her parents in China.
嘿，是什么剑来着？哦，飞轮，给我飞一下看看。哎呀，好厉害呀！When I first left my son in China, I just thought, what a horrible mother I am. Leave my child alone.
你给我转转看看。好，我看着。嘿，好厉害呀！真能干。
It's about a year now since I last left him in China.
看到你的小肚皮啦！
Yeah, it's really sad actually. because I see him on Skype, but I can't touch him. Can't kiss him.
我先挂掉吧。
My parents always say, "Oh, don't worry, he get on just fine. He doesn't ask you all the time." But I feel really guilty about it because I'm supposed to be there for him all the time. So yeah.
Kayla still has at least 6 years training before she'll qualify as a consultant.
Thank you. For a few months, I'll be thinking, yeah, surgery is a good idea. I can still make it financially and can get my son next to me. And then the next 2 months, I'll be, well, I'm still doing surgery. My son's still far away, and financially, I'm not better off at all. So yeah, I mean, I've been back and forth on whether giving up surgery or not for a good while.
That's good, yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're doing beautifully. Perfect.
Giving up something which you've been working towards for the last 6 to 7 years, and suddenly you have just to give it all up. It's really difficult to swallow, actually.
The thing that I find most difficult with surgery is that you can't predict when you're going to leave the hospital. And it would cost me £2,000 a month. I was quoted to have a nanny here.
Yeah. And I just earn about that much every month. It's no point. Well, I have more sort of guilt towards myself if I'm not there, but I don't know how the bloke feels.
Well, Kayla, I would say I was an awful father. But I did have someone who was full-time looking after my children.
Yeah.
Whatever people say, women have a much more difficult time of it because they are expected to do everything.
Yeah.
If people ask me about doing surgery, I ask them to think very hard about what they want from life. Now we are under so much scrutiny and so much pressure that it is very hard not to be worrying about patients when you get home, not to be thinking about them.
You're okay?
Because we all feel personally responsible for our patients.
240 as a stat.
And I think that more than the physical hours, for me, is the biggest problem. It's very hard to know who to put first sometimes.
Hello, Mr. Kang.
For first-year Zishan, commitment is paying off, and he's spending more time in theatre with Mr. Kang.
Right, Zishan, port insertion. Yes, Mr. Kang. So let's make you a little nick. So stand here, watch the screen.
Every day is a new learning day. You learn a lot.
To get it, twist, twist.
He's a great teacher. He's a very nice mentor. And I'm happy that he's teaching me and I'm learning from it.
The port's gone in. Yeah. Looks nice. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Job done.
The whole experience is just amazing.
But time at the operating table has to fit around his other jobs, and Zishan has night shift responsibilities. He's overseeing around 200 patients across 7 different wards with an on-call team as support.
Hello. Do you know who the nurse in charge is? Are there any medical patients you guys are concerned about? Are you concerned about anyone scoring high or can become unwell overnight?
When I was a junior doctor, things were different. We certainly didn't have the volume of work we have now. The number of patients you're looking after has increased, no doubt about it.
I know both of us are very busy, but I'll do it as well. Hello?
Over the last 3 months, Zishan's chosen to work way beyond his contracted hours.
Okay, can you hear me now? All right, that's fine, sir. Can we check the BM, please? Can anyone get me some blood sets? I need to do some bloods and ABG on this gentleman. Hello, hi, doctor. My name is Zishan of the surgical F1.
Put anyone in any career and put them in a very intense situation for a prolonged period of time, eventually they will fatigue and eventually they will crack.
Yeah, there's other stuff.
do you feel?
Feel sleepy.
At the end of his shift, Zishan has 12 hours off until he's due back in.
What's the plan for the day?
Basically, just gonna go and see if there are any surgeries planned for today. If there is anything interesting and exciting in the theatres, might just scrub in. If not, then I'll just go back, sleep.
Zishan's work ethic has not gone unnoticed.
The one thing, as a word of caution, I would advise you is you've got to pace yourself over the time. You're very intense, and that serves you well in some regards, but we don't want you burning out after 2 years of surgery. It's a long road. It takes anything up to 10 to 12 years to train up to be a consultant. And it's important that you spend time doing other things as well outside of work.
I think my intensity and dedication comes from the fact that I want to make most out of it. I like this career and want to do it.
None of us that have gone through what you're going through now in the past have been as intense at such an early stage, and there's a good reason for that, because we know that when you start out, it's hard, but it can only get harder as you climb the ladder.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khan.
We have to make sure that all doctors are supported in their working environment. Zishan at the moment, he has all the tools he needs, but he does sometimes need to just slow down and appreciate that he's at the beginning of the journey and it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Hello, sir. My name's James. I'm the surgical registrar. Tell me what's brought you into hospital.
James is also facing long hours.
Cough for me.
It's 6 p.m. and he's already halfway through a 24-hour on-call shift. Tonight, he's the most senior surgeon in the hospital, with consultants contactable at home.
I think you've probably got appendicitis. You're going to go to theatre, so I need to come back and talk to you about the operation. Okay. I get a bit stressed when I'm on call. You're being pulled in so many directions all the time. Hello, surgical registrar on call. It's about juggling, prioritising things in your mind as to what's the most important. Wait, which? Which one? Okay. Trying to keep everyone happy. Should you not go to the diabetic foot team? That's not a vascular issue. We've got lots and lots of patients to see, and for every one we see, we seem to be getting referred to, so it's not, we're not winning at the moment. I think the pressure point needs to be here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, it took a while. We're a bit busy down in A&E.
James is now 18 hours into his shift and about to operate for the 3rd time.
Who is it?
Hold on, I'll let you speak to him.
Hello?
When I just get it.
Yeah. Danny, that is. What operation she had? 4. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. It's a fairly low priority, I'm afraid, at the moment. Right. I mean, why are you ringing me at 2 o'clock in the morning with this? All right, give the details to my colleague and I'll see her in A&E. All right. Fucking hell.
Ready, steady.
You know, it's mentally very exhausting. You have to think all the time about what the right thing to do for this actual person is.
You get asleep as well?
A little bit.
Huh?
A little bit.
James is near the end of his shift, but the long hours have taken their toll.
Really bad stomachache.
Oh,
Just going to take some paracetamol. The hours never really bother me that much, I have to say. I don't mind working hard. That doesn't bother me.
Oh,
But in those circumstances, there are times where you don't drink or eat anything, as I found to my cost. Oh, my God.
So as we're approaching now, we'll see his stone is here. Can you see that? That is his stone. Yes, so one shot, please, and flip it to the other side. Could I have a basket then, please?
It's been 2 weeks since James complained of stomach pains during his on-call shift.
Got home from work and had some fairly bad tummy pain that I thought was just tummy pain, but it didn't go away and didn't go away, and it got worse and worse, and eventually my girlfriend made me go to hospital, and it ended up being a kidney stone, quite a big kidney stone that needed surgery to be removed.
Okay, I'm happy with the fluid now, thank you.
It's probably unquestionably due to chronic dehydration.
Got laser goggles on, please.
Since I've been diagnosed, I've talked to a few people around the hospital about it, and it's surprising the amount of people that said, oh, I've had a kidney stone before.
And what I like to do is make sure there's no little fragments left over. So I'm going to use my basket as a guide. Okay.
I think it's inevitable. You know, we are in a pressurized environment, we're in a pressurized world, and as doctors, we're not immune to all of those things.
See that? Now it's moving. See how the stone is now moving because I broke it into a few pieces. And then it might...
A lot of the solutions are expensive. And so we would say, increase the number of consultants, increase the work staff. And that's not possible in this current environment.
So I'm not going to have to go into this gentleman's kidney. So James is going to get away with rigid uteroscopy, and he'll go home by lunchtime tomorrow. And then hopefully he can go back to work next week.
Six years into her career, Kayla is now questioning her future as a surgeon.
It's an interview invitation for GP interview. So I've been playing around with the idea of go for a GP training rather than carry on with the surgery, because GP just seems a lot more flexible at the moment, and so I can bring my son over and have a what they call work-life balance.
A week later, she's heard back about her interview.
In February, I'll start my GP training, so I'll bring Zach over, and so by September, he can be enrolled into a school locally. I chased my dream, and it's time to settle down, do what I'm supposed to do, take my own responsibilities with my son.
When junior doctors see the impact that it potentially has on anyone else in your family, they just say, I don't want to do this, which is quite reasonable. I think it's a great pity that she's chosen not to carry on in surgery.
I'm sure I'm just one of those statistics of another female registrar didn't make it to the top. So I just want to have a happy life, a normal life together.
6 days after his operation, James is back at work.
It's not just a job. Whatever you say, it's not just a job. You go home, you lie in bed and you think about the patients you've seen, the things that have gone wrong, the things that have gone really well. I'm not going to say, you know, I'm a martyr, but at the same time, it does occupy sort of, I would say, 80% of your waking time. But I'm okay with that. I can't really think of anything else I'd want to do.
Right, how are you, James? Have you recovered from your life-threatening illness? Yeah?
Yes, Mr. Cutler.
Waterworks okay?
Waterworks are fine, yes, thank you very much. Fortunately, still here.
We are increasingly aware of the physical and mental stress on doctors. There are consultants within our hospital who've had early heart attacks, who have gone off on stress leave. You know, you hear intermittently of doctors who've committed suicide. These are all a feature of the stress of the career of the profession.
See you later. Thank you.
We should care because junior doctors are the future. You know, if we don't look after them, they will leave the NHS. If they leave the NHS will collapse.
Today is the last day of Zishan's 4 months in surgery.
Hi, Hina. Feeling a bit down, leaving this team and this place. Knock, knock, can I come in?
Yes, we're all PC.
Hello, hi. I started this as my first job. Absolutely no idea how to do stuff. Learned it from day one. What I'll do is I'll prescribe naproxen on the PRN side whenever he requires it with the gout, so we'll take it. I don't want to give regularly because he's on so many other medications. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a steep learning curve, and now I know everything. Hello, Mr. Kang.
See you, Ken. How are you?
I'm fine. Today's my last day. I'm very sad, Mr. Kang.
Why are you sad?
I don't know, I'm feeling sad leaving this place. I'm not leaving the hospital.
You're not leaving the hospital, you're still going to be here?
I'm basically planning on coming back on weekends and the days that I'm getting off because the rota is quite flexible.
That's not a problem.
I just wanted to say thank you for all your help and the teaching you give me. I've learned a lot of valuable lessons, and thank you so much.
See you.
See you soon.
Enjoy medicine.
I genuinely think we complain a lot about the system. I think NHS is the best system to work in. Where does it happen? Name a country where it happens. You know, you just wake up, walk to A&E, you'll be seen by a consultant, you're referred to a specialty, you get treated free of cost, you're home. As I said, we complain a lot.